Hey, what's going on, y'all? I wanted to do this one very masterfully. I know my voice sounds a little bit low, and I have my co-host and partner, Commendable K. We're going to do everything to bring forth the best information we can about this one. Now, this is a little bit disturbing, even for me, but we're still going to do it. That we will do. And we're going to hit on this information because there needs to be there has to be not some, but there needs to be accountability. Now, if you don't want just my critique, but we'll open up the panel. What's going on, Master Viper? What's going on, Honorable Classic Ruby? Shout out to Classic Ruby and Shar. They do an amazing show on Fridays and Thursdays. I believe that's correct. What's going on, Water Sniper? We're going to definitely bring this to the forehead. I want y'all to do me and Commendable K a favor. Share this screen, share the stream, share the stream. If you also want commentary on this, go over to Reaction Satisfaction done by Commendable K, and you can get some amazing dialogue and commentary on these videos. He has a whole library, and he does content on this also. We will open up the stream after we do the reaction. I have yet seen any of the videos. I have yet seen any of the videos. So I'm going to be just as much in shock as you guys. But I am going to give my honest opinion of how I feel. Commendable K, he's going to be rolling it. He is the only one that pretty much has seen some of the stuff. I'm going to just be in shock. Now, we normally would have had our other guests and other hosts of Faith with us, but I'm going to ask a favor of one of my BMT members since she came around. Ruby, if you want to come up, let me know. And I'll drop the link because we definitely want a woman's opinion on this also. So that way we don't want to be taken as it's two black men attacking black women. That's fair enough, Commendable K. Like, we don't want to sound like we're coming off a vitriol, but we are bringing in accountability.
Well, I mean, we could, give the reaction, then open the panel up.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah, and then I'll stay as long as possible. I got a couple of things to do, unfortunately. The time constraints. But let me know when you're ready, and we'll roll right into it.
All right, let me go grab it right now. So we're doing this out of fair use. This is our reaction, our opinion. This is not towards anybody. This is our reaction on it. Y'all guys, do us a favor, do us a solid. Share the video, like the video. Also, go to Commendable K's Reaction Satisfaction. Subscribe to his channel. Watch his videos. Let's do this, guys. All right, come in, okay? I am pulling up the video. Boom. All eyes on. Ready.
Hey, this Massa. Sound fake. 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 This Massa. Sound fake.
All right, we'll roll through it again without the volume. So, BMT, what's your initial thoughts?
Black women done lost their damn mind. They lost their mind. All the shit that all the stuff we done heard about. We winning. We the new leaders. We empowered. They out here trying to kill us. We feel more safe with the white man. All them talking points. I don't see no women saying nothing about this. They more worried about all that foolishness. This is crazy. This is madness. As much as they protest and walk up and down the street saying, protect our black boys, as much as they done said that we out here to come get them, that they feel more safe and protected with under their white man. They want beautiful mixed babies. Black men are pushing the narrative. But you have it where they pull this type of stunt. For somebody to say that they're the most educated and they pull this, like, that's crazy. Mind you, they nobody's forcing them. This is crazy that they made this where these dudes they smiling. And I don't hear nothing from the divestor community, the one that we push against colorism community, the protect black women or black excellence community. If you want to call out the black men, why ain't y'all women also calling out the women that are doing this? But you want the men to check the men, but who's checking these women? Now, this is some egregious behavior. Very egregious. This is why it's hard to come at the trailerhood controversy when you have this on TikTok. And y'all are laughing. And this is not the only video. There are other videos. These are only the videos that we were able to snag. But they want to make this a trend. This my Massa. But we need to be empathetic to black baby girls. Me and CK, I know I care. I know CK, we care about women. We do. But I got no love for this. Y'all more worried about these little shenanigans online, but y'all ain't checking this. Y'all ain't got no smoke for this. Go get you a nice, cute baby, a nice mixed baby. These boys are like, well, shit, I got her checked. This, what's it called? The Massa Challenge?
Yeah, Massa Challenge.
The Massa Challenge. CK, I pass it on to you. You can keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
just kind of noticing that most of everybody in the video of the challenge, they're all like high school, young 20s, and some of the guys are kind of surprised because the women told them, "Hey, hold my shirt." Other ones are like knowing what's going on, like the guy you see in front of you, and the women, like the one examples here, she kind of has like an attitude, like, "Yeah, and what?" Like, "Yeah, he's my massa, and what?" And so this is kind of the attitude of a lot of divestors, especially the extreme ones. This morning, Cara D, she spoke on the Massa challenge, and she spent majority of her stream beefing with other divestors. And so what I come to see when it comes to divestors, the ones that are like 40 plus or around our age range, BMT, is that they're disgruntled. Maybe they were done wrong by Black men from being assaulted, abused. Somebody played them, someone cheated on them. They are, get in relationships, they experience that. And then instead of them healing from that, moving forward from that and understanding what went wrong, or coming to the conclusion that these guys that they chose did them wrong and there's other fish in the sea, including expanding the options, they internalize that and they somewhat harbor resentment for all men that look like the ones they dated, and then they start spewing talking points. Well, the older generation, they have mental issues, in my opinion, and they also have anger issues, but with their trauma bonding and them being foolishness and a lot of their rhetoric, and some of it kind of does make sense as far as get the best man for the job and remove yourself from a toxic relationship or toxic environment. The younger generation who are, so I'm generation Y, which is millennial. I'm like the beginning part of it. These are more than likely the end part of the millennials or generation Y, and some of them probably generation Z. They're hearing the talking points, they're seeing the examples, they're seeing stuff in the news, and they're getting a one-sided explanation as to what these quote unquote divestors and interracial daters have experienced. They're getting one side of it, and they're being programmed to just simply hate, not really expanding your options, not really understanding the historical significance of this imagery and what the Massa challenge conveys, but they're only getting one side of it. And the programming language, the indoctrination, the wanting to be like the older big sis, big mother, and all these other women that are like content creators and, telling them stuff in real life, they're getting one side of the conversation that's toxic and dysfunctional. They're taking that, they're running with it, and that's the reason why they don't care. They don't care how they look. They don't care how they act. All they know is, I heard, I'm not gonna say any content creators or YouTube is here. I don't, started issues with your channel, but they hear the talking points and they believe that stuff is gospel. And the more they hear it, the more they trauma bond, the more they're in those spaces of those cults and those gangs, they start to identify as the clique of, you know what? Black people are less than, Black people are third-class citizens. I'm going to level up and get me a zaddy so that I'm able to be a woman, because being with a Black man makes me less than a woman because they're less than. And most of the divestors, they're unapologetic. They're, a lot of them have said from the comment section and just from people like Cara D that this is what these girls are doing as far as the TikTok challenge. It's just fun to them. It shouldn't be taken more as any other challenge. It's just funny games. And they are happy that these Black women or women of color or minorities, because one of them was actually white, but Asian, how that kind of gets tricky. They're happy that these women are with white guys no matter what they do. And you see a lot of the excuses, justification, rationalization with the slave play, slave weddings, and now we have a Massa challenge.
If you can do me a favor, you don't have to show the video. Could you just play the audio of Kendra D saying that? That is just fun. And I want to just critique on that. This is dangerous towards any talking point any type of thing that this will drastically hurt whatever prominent type of energy of co- of us being cohesive to work together. These talking points of the women are leading. And the question is, into what burning building are you leading them into? This would never be acceptable in any logical society. If a black man were to be seen doing this.
So I have a video. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'll wait till you're done.
I'm saying this could cost you your job. This could cost you your imagery of working with other people. This is not funny. This is not. And this is very dangerous because you're fumigating and propelling the incel talking points to say they like to be abused. They like being killed. They like that. Whatever happened to them because that's their choice. You just gaslit them for another 10 more years. So when y'all say black men, who's going to protect us? They're going to be like, Massa challenge. In this vitriol that a lot of these older women are talking, that are telling y'all women, that reparational talk, killed. That black people need to fix the community talk, killed. Any kind of talk of self-improvement, your Massa challenge just killed that. Were you gonna say they were young and dumb? They ain't no better? Hell, I saw somebody in a uniform in one of these challenges on Facebook doing that. It's not like these women don't know better. They're choosing this path of violence and destruction. And the fact that women, y'all black women, we have where black women are choosing to remain silent and check their own. So when something does happen to you out there in the streets, this will be coming back up and this will bite you. Go ahead and play it if you got it. If you got it.
So I have Cara D's. Let me see.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, so
fair use, God. This is opinion of reaction. Go ahead, brother.
Because like, I talk to you guys before I start my day. So, hey, Sasha. 7 ships, you want me to talk about this topic? Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I guess I'll talk about it because I had to go to TikTok to see what they were talking about with that viral trend, my Massa. I didn't even know that was going on. So I went to TikTok and I went and saw some of the videos where they were doing it. And from what I saw, honestly, when I went to TikTok, from what I saw, a lot of those videos, the white guy didn't know what was going on. So I think they were doing it for a joke. but I understand that some people are offended by it. They're offended by the viral TikTok videos called my Massa. But from what I saw, a lot of the white guys did not know what was going on. They didn't have no idea. And so they thought they were playing or whatever like that. But when it comes to black people, it's a problem. I mean, it's a big problem for them. I understand why some people was offended by it. But honestly, in my opinion, I didn't really take it that serious. But I understand. Some people feel like those black women on TikTok make them look bad.
Pause it, brother. That is the most dangerous thing I've ever heard. That is the most dangerous thing I've ever heard. This week. Let's just say this week. That's almost up there with kill black baby boys. It's almost that's pretty much jumping up there. Because I don't know if y'all truly want to fix black society anymore. And when something happens, which we have seen other races of men kill black women, how we know which ones to take serious? So y'all black men ain't gonna do nothing? Massa challenge. I thought y'all were playing over there. I thought y'all having fun. Oh, so y'all black men don't care. Massa challenge. When you're rearing up, and mind you, this is interesting because the old gatekeeper women have this much blinders of vitriol towards their group of men. You heard the hesitation. If she called them out, she would have to call out a lot more things that go on amongst their ranks. If a black man had done the submission challenge, right? Let's say we did the submission challenge where we choke a black woman. You read me, Commander K? Jack up a black woman, put a gun to a black woman's head. Oh, that would be. This is why y'all women need to divest. This is why y'all need to get away from these black men. They're so violent. But you're telling me this new notion of ideology for black women, because y'all already saying you don't want to have a black family. You don't want to have functionality, but you want to play games like this. So I guess the guys who used to joke about the knee on the neck joke, that was fine. See how the knee on the neck joke, when they were doing that, that wasn't cool. But y'all doing the choke challenge, y'all doing the Massa challenge now. So when they were online, understand them trolls are going to say, hey, they doing a Massa challenge. So can we go back to the George Floyd challenge again? Mind you, that was a challenge. These talking points are dangerous. Go ahead, Commander Bouquet.
Yeah, one thing. So the Divestors, they're having a civil war with each other, and they'll always say, "I'm going to sick my white man on you." Cara D, or Madam Cara, she's like one of the most hardcore Divestors. She said that about Cynthia G. They spend most of the time fighting each other because just the idea of what Divestors promote as far as the mantra, saying anybody but a black man, I'm going to escape Blackistan. The way they use those terms, we understand what they're saying, but the way they use those terms, it's rooted in hate. Like I said before, they experience something, they internalize it, it festers inside of them, and then it turns into animosity, anger, and hatred. And the hatred will initially be directed at, let's say, black men, but then eventually, when there's no black men around, they're going to direct the hate towards each other. because they should all be on the same page, but they're not. And the reason that they're not is because there really isn't a rhyme or reason why you should announce that you're going to divest or expand your options. You should just do it. But the problem is that they're doing it under the guise of weaponizing it to attack others. And that's why they say, I'm going to sick my white man on you. So, you know, in the challenge, there were a couple of men of no color that didn't know what was going on, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a simple fact that the women of color, they knew what it was about, and they're somewhat making a joke of it, making light of it, and it diminishes everything that people went through from the 1850s and earlier. And it makes a mockery of systemic racism. It makes a mockery of ideas like, white nationalism, white supremacy, master race. It makes a mockery of it. And, I think that just Madam Kara, not taking this time out to explain what divesting is and distancing herself from this shows the level of hatred and anger that they have, even if it's going to be detrimental to the younger generation. And, I saw some comments that, a lot of these women are going to get these guys in trouble. Well, a lot of the divestors, they've been volunteering their so-called white zaddy to be attack dogs, not just on other divestors, but even on people who disagree with their talking points. They name call, which dehumanizes someone so that if something does happen, it's somewhat excusable, justifiable, and even to a certain extent acceptable. And you see it with, I guess since we named Madam Kara, we'll talk about it someone else, just like Divest the Zealot. She has a whole, logo on her channel that has a man of color hanging from a big strange fruit on a tree and a black girl swinging from a tree. I'm trying to use a certain language so you're not demonetized as far as this video. And that's just it. Like, what we need to do as a community, in my opinion, is to call it out, point out why it's wrong, why it's sick, disgusting, and then distance ourselves from those who don't share our like-mindedness when it comes to this situation.
The thing about it is, the issues that some of these women have, whether it be with their fathers, the mother, a lover, whatever. If I can't have peace, no other woman can. And there have been women who have confessed that. They have come on panels and told that this happened to me. I did not have a relationship with my father. I did not have a good relationship with my mother. I did not have a good relationship. I was abused, this and this and this. And we've heard a lot of horror stories. I encourage a lot of y'all women, before y'all come on YouTube, go get help. Go get help. We've heard it out of a lot of women's mouths. And just like the men, a lot of critical talking points that are dangerous. You won't get another race of people to come on. You're not going to get a bunch of small hats to come on and get a group of people to pretend like they're walking them into a room. They would have that video ripped down and you barred from YouTube. You're not going to get Asians to pretend that you're going to run them through a minefield in a rice paddy field. This is disgusting as hell. This is horrible. Do y'all hate your black man that much? Mind you, you bear children that are black. Do you hate your child that much? Do you hate me and Commendable K that much? Do you hate your people that much? And it's funny because y'all, I've heard y'all get on panels and talk about black men. And there is no pushback about the vile stuff. Y'all say they are better off dead. They're better off killed. They can't be trusted. This is very dangerous. How I wouldn't know, CK, I wouldn't know how to protect this. No, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't care to protect this. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, they're not.
I don't care to protect this.
Well, they're not in any danger. And
No.
cut you off from your train of thought.
I get that. I get that. They're not in any danger. But when you open this type of door, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We have a thing in the military. You don't play with the equipment because if one day you might need that same equipment, you're out of luck. You don't play with your rifle, you can have a misfire.
But see, that's just it. Like when it comes to a lot of interracial daters like this, when they go to meet guys of no color, they immediately will start using divested talking points, such as black men don't build anything, black men don't have net worth, they're destroying all the communities. They'll lead with that type of rhetoric and inflammatory language. And if the guy shares that sentiment with her, they click. If he does not, they will look down on him, because these type of girls and women, they're looking for a mate who they can weaponize against black people, not just black men, but also black women. So there is no saving them. There's only, communicating that this is going on, shunning it, pointing out why it's a bad thing, why it's horrific, what we need to do to separate ourselves from people who think this is okay or justify and excuse it. And if something happens to the people who do this type of TikTok challenge, or any women who are engulfed in the divestor narrative, they have to be left to their own devices, because what if you go to save her from something going on and she's setting you up? Or what if you go to help her while something's going on and then she calls the cops on you, or she tries to sue you? Because see, the hatred is not going to go away because she's in trouble, because as soon as she's rescued and saved, same thing for the men, SYSBM and all Manosphere guys, once they're saved and they're quote unquote safe, you're still going to be there because you're still trying to make sure that she's okay, helping her get to a more safer situation. She's ready to attack you, attack me, attack anyone who looks like her. So this is one of the situations where there really needs to be no type of protection. And I saw in the notes where someone was saying Wade in the Water song. This is from Super Mike 2164. Thank you for the comment. He said he's one of your channel members. Says Wade in the Water song is a song to escape slavery and swamps. So whoever made this soundbite for the challenge and the people participating in it, they know what they're doing. They did the challenge and then they posted it. So their male or their significant other who participated in the challenge, whether he knew about it or not, he was complicit in it being posted. And then let's say if she's like, I'm posting it, I don't care what you got to say. Those guys, those men of no color, them continuing to be in that relationship, knowing the dynamics of what they're doing, they're just as guilty as they are. Oh, you got a super chat. I'm gonna go on mute.
First of all, shout out to the super chat. Shout out to Doug for the $5. What we're seeing is the backlash from some of the manosphere rhetoric. I'm going to say you're correct, Doug. It's no secret. I would not be surprised if one of these women is in a position of authority at a job. We didn't take that into consideration. One of these women could probably be in a position of authority, be in a job, in the medical field or wherever. And the fact that they would make this, may God have mercy on any black man that is laying at their feet. Because clearly, being in that of a presence of a black man is akin to slavery. That's the slavery and bondage that I hear. This is why I'm worried when y'all start talking about this stuff of when y'all around black men. It's like the worst thing. It's like being buried in fire ants. Like, I've heard some videos of your daddy ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit. And I could only imagine these are the offspring. These if you show the video, these are all young girls. These are all young girls. That bitch y'all hate, here you go. These are the young girls, these are the children. These are the children that y'all say, these black girls, here you go. Here you go. They will go to college. They will go get degrees. They will go do all assortment of stuff. Their evolution will keep on coming. And imagine when they have babies. Oh my God. Can you imagine that, CK? When they have babies? What they will tell their babies? How they will train their kids? You can't beat this level of hate. Oh my God. There's one thing about fighting white supremacy, but I don't know how you fight divestor supremacy. That's on a whole nother. I don't think there's a training manual for that. And you gotta understand, you gotta more likely that they're gonna have the ear of politicians when they get into business. They get into a lot of things, black women, yes, they do. And God knows. Yes, they are, Faith. Yes, they are pulling. As much as I hear black women talk about their damn hair, but they are so comfortable with white zaddy pulling their hair. They got no, look right there, boop, right there, pulling her hair like she a dog. She's smiling, happy, gleeful. Treat me like a animal.
Yeah, and most racism starts off as jokes. As far as like comments that like, starts off as like little jokes and stuff. Whether you're at work, with friends, out somewhere, or at church, whatever, even YouTube, it always starts off as jokes and people saying that this is just a joke. And that is how they test the waters with you. Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right about
that's
that.
How they test.
It always starts as a joke. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how they test the waters with you. And if you keep allowing the jokes to happen, the jokes are going to increase. And then it's going to get to a point where instead of them making jokes, you're going to become the joke. And then they're going to somehow entice you to start making jokes yourself. And then when other people come within proximity, they're going to make those jokes. And you being desensitized to the racism, you're going to, not you being T, but just whoever is desensitized to it in programs, you're going to start becoming their guard dog because other people are going to come around and say, well, you can't say the N-word. I don't know if you saw that Chris Rock clip where it was, I think it's C.K. Lewis. He was using the N-word all willy-nilly and Chris Rock was just cool with it. So someone like Chris Rock or just someone like that will, become desensitized and become somewhat of a guard dog. And then someone like you and I, BMT, will go and say, hey, that's not cool. You can't use the N-word. You can't make those jokes. If you're going to continue to make that type of jokes and use that language around me, I'm gone. Well, here comes Chris Rock. Here comes the guy who's been desensitized, taking up for them. Yeah, they can use the N-word. They're black. They're just like us. They can come to the cookout. And that's what starts the spiral of us infighting instead of understanding that you shouldn't tolerate this type of language. And it always starts off as jokes or a story, something innocent. You know, Kara, Madam Kara and other divestors are saying, oh, this is just a joke, not a big deal, nothing to see here. They minimize it, they rationalize it, they say it's something small and that people are overreacting. And then those who accept that type of language, that it's overreacting, no big deal, nothing to see here, the jokes start to increase. And next thing you know, someone has a picture in, let's say, McDonald's, true story, where it's a tree, a all black tree, and strange fruit hanging from the tree. And they put that in McDonald's. They put that around their home. I think I was talking to Faith on the phone, and she mentioned that while she was just out and about, she saw someone's house that had someone as strange fruit hanging from a tree during Halloween. The cops were called, and the person had to take that down. But imagine if the homeowner would have came outside and been like, "It's just a joke, Mr. Officer. It's just a joke. It's a part of Halloween decoration. No big deal." The officer buys it, lets it go. The residents and people who see it let it go. Then it becomes normalized. Now the racists amp it up. And instead of them having something McDonald's as a picture or something some strange fruit on a tree during Halloween, next it's a Facebook post. Next it's a video. Then they're marrying your daughter. And your daughter's hearing it, and that's when the indoctrination will start with children. That's why there's so many different mixed race children, in my opinion, why they are antagonistic to their black side of the family or black people, because they've heard the jokes while growing up. They become desensitized, they become programmed, and they accept it as normal and start to internalize it and use it in practice. And that's the point where it becomes a Massa challenge. And then they're doing hate crime, thinking that it's just a joke, and people are getting hurt, and it just spirals out of control. Oh, but go ahead, BMT.
The thing about this is, this is not funny. There's nothing funny or honest about this. You know, I got it. Y'all did the crate challenge. Yeah, you know, y'all drink the milk challenge. Y'all do the bucket water challenge. We all dump buckets of water on yourselves. I mean, this is why, and I'm gonna tell you a lot of y'all black men who are fine with this. Then don't come to me at anything about when these same women pass laws that hurt your black ass in the court, because we already know y'all behinds get railroaded very, 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 very viciously in the court. Oh, I can't believe that black female judge. Oh. Now we supposed to care when y'all get roughed up. Now we supposed to care when something be happen to y'all about child support. But guess what? We're talking about this kind of nonsense going on. Y'all want us to, oh man, why do you care? It's the little things like these. Like CK says, they get bigger because you allow them to happen. And it happens at work. When you allow somebody to say something, they say, oh, I can get away with that. Then they say another joke. Then they do more stuff. Then they just start getting reckless. You know the first thing they say? Well, BMT allowed me to say it. When CK tried to check him, well, BMT never said anything. So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? BMT don't care. So why are you offended? Now, CK gonna be looking at me like, yo, bro, why? I don't tolerate that, bro. I don't. Understand that, like, I wish we could also play the Kendra thing, but you gotta understand, there's a lot of women that have influence on with a lot of these women. They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay with this. They're going to encourage this type of thing. I think there was a video where it was some black women, they were talking to a police officer. Now it's interesting, but somebody says in the chat, this is comedy. This is not comedy. I don't know how y'all said this is comedy. It's not. This is not comedy. This is meant to send a message towards black people, mainly black men. The same women or same divestors that were on talking to the judge saying we need protection from black men. But now you're seeing divestors saying, yes, Massa. So make it make sense.
And usually the people who are laughing at the jokes or thinking that it's no big. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're stupid. We got to understand they're dumb. So you can't expect much. Can't expect much. You'll call this a joke, but then you want us to give a damn about laws or rights or certain kind of things that happen. Things like this start out small, then they end up big. They always do that. They did it in Africa. They would talk about the Zuzu tribe. Then that's how it started. It started out on the radio, making jokes. So then when the soldiers started mistreating those people and then killing them, everybody didn't take it seriously because they dehumanized them. So when things happen to y'all, it's going to be hard because you're knowingly walking, you're dehumanizing yourself to whatever abuse might happen to you. Go ahead, CK.
Yeah, in addition to the jokes, the people who are laughing at the jokes more than likely are making more jokes in their head. They're just not saying it out loud. And so you got to watch out for that too. And, you know, I know you do freedom of speech over here, BMT. You allow people to have a voice. It's just that.
If it starts hurting my channel, we just tag them out of the channel for today. I'm not playing no games with y'all today. Y'all not gonna mess up my channel. I respect y'all. Just don't do that in my channel.
Yeah, and Super Mike 2164, he's actually been on fire today. He says, yes, just like Jim Crow was a comedy show, and he's right. The minstrel show was intended to be comedy.
Go ahead, bro.
With the blackface, it was intended to be comedy, but it was offensive, demeaning, and it dehumanized black people. So the joke is designed to introduce racism, see what your reaction is, and dehumanize someone because the joke is offensive in nature. Yes, there's a lot of comedians that make jokes and people will laugh at it, but what really are they laughing at? Are they laughing with us or laughing at us? And most of the time, including black people, will be laughing at us or and also at themselves. And you have to understand, and we have to just identify that there are some people who are white supremacists, even though they're black people. It's some people who have self-hate or hate black people, and they're black too. And they'll make statements, they'll make comments, they'll use language. And also, like what Super Mike 2164 was saying, there will be grape games where it's like you play around like you're graping someone, and then someone actually does it. And it always starts off with, we're just having fun, no big deal. And then the line gets pushed further and further and further, especially with no one checking it. And it's only a matter of time before people get hurt. Oh, go ahead, BMT.
They do that in Japan. They actually have video games in which they simulate sexual assault. They simulate sexual assault. So understand that, mind you, that it gets dark. Now, I'm not for this type of ideology. We calling out. We got to ask the divestors, yo, bro. At what point? Because I'm trying to understand. At what point does logic click in? Like, date who you want, love who you want. That's not my business. But when it's coming to this type of talking point, This is when it starts getting vicious and starts getting out of the crazy. This is when it just starts getting awkward. So we're about there. Your virtual signaling is weak today, BMT. I'm about to block you today, Trey. I'm about to block you today, and I will bring you back when I feel ready, Trey. Okay? Make sure you know we were already at 30 before you came here, but I will block you and happily talk to you another day. Okay? You understand me, Trey? You know that. I have no problem. You see Trey today, deal with him another week. You understand that? Okay? So let's get that out the way. I choose what I want to tolerate or listen to. Okay? Let's just get that out the way. That's for anybody in the chat. I choose if I really want to hear you. Okay, so long as y'all understand that, if CK don't feel like being bothered, or I don't feel like being bothered, we can listen and have a cordial conversation. But I don't hear nothing else when y'all start doing all the ad hominem attacks. When y'all start doing that shit, take your funky asses to y'all the panels. Y'all understand me? I want y'all to understand that from BMT. I don't need y'all views. I don't need y'all people. I don't need y'all groups. I'm actually good without it. Okay? BMT is BMT before y'all came and after y'all came. I don't need a gang. I don't need a talk point. I don't need a political party. I roll alone. So let's just get that out the way. All right? Okay? You ready to drop the link? You ready to drop the link, brother?
I'll go for it.
Letting y'all know right now, man. Y'all come correct when y'all come to my chat. Please don't think that y'all got any pull. You don't. I run this. If y'all don't like that, we can see y'all another day. Okay? Let's just get this out the way. We'll come up and have a reasonable discussion as adults. We won't cut off anybody. We'll actually speak cordial, but we're not going to be disrespectful. Okay? There's no feelings.
You have that premium. You got the premium StreamYard. I'm like, man, how many links? You got the premium. I was like, hey, you spending money.
Listen,
I see 5 links.
I multi-stream. Like, that's why I be trying to tell people I'm not just here. I'm in multiple streams.
I see you.
I'm not just in YouTube. I'm in multiple YouTube streams. So trust me, we BMT, BBN, CK, bro, we not hurting for just this sector. We're in other sectors, man. So I don't want people to be thinking that that's why I said that's 5 links. No, I could do more. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on. We're joined here by brother Mary. What's going on, Mary? How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother? It's been a long time. What's going on to the other guests on the panel?
Hey, what up?
What's going on, man? But I mean, at this point, you know, I'm not surprised. If I had to characterize like the current climate that we're in with, you know, with social media and its effect on, you know, on Black society, I would define it as the crack era. And what you have are these algorithm junkies who are only placating the algorithm because everybody's looking to get that next viral video. You know, but in the long run, when you're talking about the divestment movement, it's a circular thing. You see what I'm saying? They'll just end up with what they started with. It's a logical fallacy. There is no such thing as divesting from blackness or whatever they're supposed to be divesting from. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's deeply cynical, it's insidious, and it's shameful. But you know, what do we expect? Like, we don't have a lot of racial pride within Black society today. You know what I'm saying? At this point, what it is now, it's about who can one up who in terms of pedestalizing outside racial groups. You see what I'm saying? You have brothers who do it. I mean, we just saw a case of a guy who was, you know, making these non-flattering tweets about Black women, only to become sushi for his preference. who he said were just unequivocally a better option than black women. And so, this is just the climate and the environment. See, one thing I was always concerned about, and that's why, I started my channel and my content, stuff like that, is because I had children. I have sons and daughters. So, that's what caused me to take the balanced approach I had took. You see what I'm saying? It's a shame where now we have these types of shenanigans going on. It's ridiculous, man. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Roger that. Well, that's a good opener, Mary. We're joined here by Trey MBD. What's going on, Trey?
Hey, what's going on, Battle? Man, I tell you what, this whole Massa thing, bro, I find it straight. I honestly find it straight comedy. When I first saw Joel Davis cover it, man, I flew to TikTok to see as many of these videos as possible. Number one, it don't matter to me. Why should it matter? I don't own these women. I'm not their father. I'm not their uncle. I'm not nothing. They living their best lives for whatever they think it is. Why should any man have say over what another man's child is doing? That's up to that woman and that woman's father. If that's the life they want to live, it's their life. How is any man, American man at that, to come in there with censorship? And one thing that does drive me crazy about the current state of those who belong to the black cult is what's up with all this authoritarianism. Oh, I don't like this. It hurts my feelings, so you shouldn't be able to say it. Come on, man. This ain't communist freaking Wakanda. This is America.
Okay. That's fair enough for what you feel. Are there any rebuttals to that? I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I understand what Trey is saying, that, hey, if that's their choice, then let them have it. Is that correct? Like, they're not ours to deal with. Which you're fair in saying that. I'm not pushing against you saying that, because if you have a certain type of behavior that I don't agree with, then hey, that's what you're asking for, to walk down that path. Fair enough. I cannot argue about you with that point. Only thing I look at is that I'm also acknowledging that when it comes to politics, when it comes to a lot of things, especially dealing with this ethnicity, for the most part, a lot of women mainly get the first take or shake or ear in a lot of these talking points. I think that's even why I believe, let me know if I'm wrong, CK, black women are even getting a bill passed for their protection, correct? So they say that they feel like they're not being protected enough. But if they feel like they're not being protected, but then you see something like this happening, I'm trying to understand, where is this going? If you're saying you're not being protected, you're saying that, hey, that we need certain types we need to be looked at. Now, the women saying that they want to hold the men accountable, they want accountability. But if you have this happening, then I would say, hey, same way as people look at, hey, y'all men need to call out the men that are doing the stuff in the society. Well, what are y'all gonna call out these women? Because it has to be hand in hand. Same way as they.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, man. What's up?
Thanks for allowing me on the panel. I do want to speak on the last comment, right? Because
what's your name, sir?
Agree. My name's Kay.
Okay, nice to meet you, Kay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to speak on the last comment, because I do agree 50% as far as, hey, we shouldn't be policing anyone's opinion, anyone's perspective, right? And but I have noticed a certain dynamic as far as women not feeling comfortable with men calling them out on certain things, right? And that's very understandable. But it's very interesting that at the same time as this Massa challenge has come out, amongst the millennials or the younger generation, there's video circulating right now of two white girls singing Lil Baby, and just really singing Lil Baby on camera and getting a lot of attention for it. And all of the black women are shaming the black men, saying, hey, these white women are just singing rap lyrics and, calling them out. So essentially they're doing what the last commenter said that we shouldn't be doing, or no one should be doing. The women will call the men out for things that they see as treacherous. But when the women do things that are seemingly more treacherous, which I would say this Massa challenge is, there aren't black women out here saying that these black women are wrong for what they're doing. All of the black women right now are focusing on these white women that are singing rap lyrics right now and the attention they're getting for it and shaming black men. Now, on par with that, I've noticed something. I've noticed that when things happen to our young black children in schools, white women sleep with them, that's predatory, that's child abuse. No black women have fought or blew the brains out of any of these white women that do this to our young boys.
They doing it too, bro.
That's interesting, you know. But if something else happens, we're expected to protect, right? Random women that we don't even know. So I just find it interesting that I can't 100% commit to the previous comment, because I also see at the same time it's being used against us when it's convenient. And I just want to know if anyone else has noticed that or see that right now, what's going on, that the black men are being shamed for exercising options, making our preferences be known. But the black women want to throw the rock and hide their hands at times like this. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're joined here by Faith, and we thank you for your opening comment, Kay. Thank you for joining us on our first time. We're also joined here by our final piece, Faith. Faith, you saw the video, you saw the reaction, you also heard some of the comments from Mary, Trey, and BD, as well as Kay. You already heard our reaction from CK and myself. Kendra, is it Kendra? She said it's nothing to be serious. This is just girls having fun. It's just a joke, not that serious. You guys are just having fun. It's a lot to absorb.
Facts.
I know. So, what's your take on everything?
Well, here's the thing. I hear a lot of wordplay here. I hear a lot of people throwing around the term divestment. And I was in the chat room earlier, and I'm wondering if it's fair to kind of say that all the divestors are endorsing something like this, first of all, because they haven't spoken out on it. When I go to their channels, this isn't typically what they're talking about. So that's number one. And, that's just to be fair, because, when they had the whole black man walking down the aisle challenge, the black men that are into white women, I don't really hear a lot of them talking about how they want to be dominated by a white woman. So, let's just be fair in this whole assessment. These are people who are, on their own doing this sort of thing, and they're doing it as a joke. I do agree that it's a joke, but they don't see how the optics make themselves look bad to others, and it also kind of makes people like them who date out look bad. They're not thinking like that far ahead. These are people who are idiots, basically. These are people that don't have any forward thinking or foresight whatsoever. So these, I would have to deduce, are people that we as a community, we as a group, we're going to have to identify these as people that we're going to have to let go. You can't do anything with these people. So I'm actually happy to see people like this when they show themselves, because you let me know right away not to waste my time with you, not to do business with you, not to do any community building with you, not to have any type of conversation with you about the uplifting of black people, period, because it's obvious that that's not what you're about. So, I wouldn't take stuff like this, like the gentleman walking around, crawling around on the floor on his wedding day, letting the white woman lead him by a leash. I wouldn't take that as anything to to be angry at. These are a small group of people, and unfortunately, they go viral because nobody else is doing what they're doing. The great collective of Black people don't think or act like this. The great collective of divestors or people that date out of their race, period, whether they're Black, white, or whatever, don't think or act like this. These are the degenerates that are getting shine. So I think we ought to also keep that in perspective. These are people that we don't want to have anything to do with and be happy that they showed themselves.
Let me respond to that. But I disagree. I think that this is much more pervasive than what we're letting on. I think this is the cumulative effects of two things. Number one, this is the result of apathy, an apathetic Black community and Black society, and people who view things from a very individualistic lens. And number two, it's because we don't have any Black organizations. The brother who first commented, I think his name is Trey. The problem with his statement is that everybody censors. You're not going to tell me and get me to believe for 1 minute that if that had been a Jewish girl talking about the Nazi challenge, acting as if they're being hauled off to concentration camps, that would stand and go viral on any social media platform. So just stop it. This is the exact type of attitude that creates the environment for this type of stuff to proliferate. This is what we are faced with. So while Black men and Black women have been bickering back and forth, why are we acting as if this is some new thing with these younger generations where there is no sense of racial pride or racial solidarity? All the sacrifices that all these great Black people have made, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, for your Black ass in 2022 to do a Massa challenge and to be being walked around like a dog. No, this is highly problematic, and it's like we still like we're delusional. Like we're not.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you something.
Can I respond first, ma'am? Since he called me out.
Wait. Let me ask him this question because he's saying it's highly problematic, like it's so widespread. Name me 3 people in your family, because if it's so widespread, you should be able to name me 3 people in your family that are Black women that are doing this. That's a irrelevant question, because number one, not irrelevant because I can't think of 3 people in my family that I know that's actually doing it. Like I said, it's a few people that get online and do this crap.
Let me ask you a question. Why is it going viral then?
Because nobody else is doing it and it's going viral because it is a thing that is an odd phenomenon. The stuff that is an odd phenomenon, those are the things that usually go viral because it's not something typically that you would see every day.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. That we have to do to go viral, because again, we're having this conversation as if we don't know what time it is. The whistleblower came out a few months ago talking about how these algorithms for these social media apps are constructed. They're constructed to cause division socially and politically. So it's not just going viral because it's something that people don't see every day. It's going viral because it's feeding a larger theme. That is spreading on social media. That's why I reference social media. That's why it's going.
I'll tell you this.
Right? Because listen, the reason why they say it's going viral is because it's acting like a virus. And what does it infects the larger organism. This is the way these algorithms are constructed. It's a growing sentiment, especially with these younger generations.
Well, since you called me out, bro, I'll respond to you.
Go ahead.
First thing you said, first I'll just start with the whole viral thing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. They're portraying these comedic images of girls, acting submissive to men who just happen to be less melanated for one reason, to get Black folks triggered. And that's what it's doing. Unfortunately for them, guys like me, it just doesn't matter. I just laugh at it. Like, whatever. There's people who do this stuff in their bedrooms and they're private all the time. Now it's just being portrayed out on TikTok because that's the world. The world is a stage now. And I won't go viral because my message is leave this freaking whole clown show of a community alone and do better. But the masses, the people in control of the algorithm, they don't want to see that. They want to see you all get mad in your feelings because of a Massa challenge. And here's the deal. So what? If you we've watched the manosphere for what 15 or 16 years, it's been around, talk about women not listening to men. Well, guess what? These women are now saying they're feminine and they want to listen to their masters. They want their men to be their masters. Don't get mad because they chose another a shade. Because let's look at it. Let's keep it a buck here. These girls aren't going out there carjacking, you know what I'm saying, freaking Pakistani Uber drivers in Washington, D.C. They're not going out there holding guns for dudes to get up in the club. They're not going out there trying to be single moms 10 times over. They ain't doing that. But that's what's happening in every communitized city around the country. Throw a dart, land on one. Those girls aren't doing this. They're just on TikTok having some fun. But y'all big mad because they're doing it with guys that aren't melanated. And that's what the algorithm wants you to be, big mad.
Exactly. And now you switch. I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said, because if you switch the color, and if this was black men pulling their black woman's hair like this online having fun, nobody would have nothing to say about this at all whatsoever. But because it's a white man standing behind her holding that hair, you're mad. You're big mad.
Hey, I really want to ask a question here. Do we
Go ahead.
Because I'm in the millennial generation, right? And sometimes I think you all fall victim of looking at things from too much of a mature perspective. And what I mean by that is the majority of the people that this will affect are not as mature as you are. They don't have that 15 years looking at a manosphere perspective. So some of the millennials, guys, males like me, men like me, whether you all would like to accept it or not, whether it's right or wrong, what this causes is us to say, okay, that black woman that went to that party or went on that retreat with the white people and got found thrown off a balcony, it makes us say, oh, well, that's what you get. So what I'm saying is, from a mature perspective, y'all's perspective, that shouldn't be how things should be looked at. But from our generation that's seeing things for the first time, don't have as much experience as y'all, may have fallen victim to old school polite, old school pharaoh, black woman is God. Oh, God doing the master challenge? Oh, okay. So y'all are out of the dating game. Y'all experience. Y'all are already set in your ways. There are people that are being molded right now by this small viral video that may walk across a woman on the street getting harmed by a white guy, and they have been desensitized to the black woman is God, desensitized to we are the world as far as the black community we need to be protected. These type of videos, this social media is affecting less mature, less groomed individuals than you all selves. And that is something that you all have to take into consideration. It sounds great on paper, the things you are saying, but the real world effects of this has been shown and will continue to be shown until a little while from now you're going to be singing Deborah Cox, How Did We Get Here? It's because some of y'all step back saying we shouldn't even pay attention to it. It doesn't matter. But to the younger, less mature people, they are being shaped and affected by this. I can tell you from experience.
Exactly. But they sitting here acting like we sitting up here. They don't know that. Come on.
Hang on. So, and I'm hearing that, and we also got two more guests. First of all, I want to say thank you guys. I wouldn't have been able to do this video successfully if not for the help of CK. Please, y'all, do me a favor. Go to his channel, Reaction Satisfaction. Check out his video. Also, I want to pay homage. I also want to pay homage to also the other content creator that helped me formulate this together. Faith, the Faith Factor. I also got to pull up her channel. We have a lot of strong content creators up here. Also, as well as a new guest, we also have the Mary show. I don't know when brother goes up there and does a show. We have Trey MBD. He's not afraid of controversy. We have Super Mike giving out the knowledge and as well as information. We also have the Shar and Classic Ruby show. Very amazing dynamic duo. And we also have our new host, Kay. You guys, I'm very happy to be here. We have 30 people in the chat. Y'all guys like the video. please, I am going to go grab the videos. Mods, do me a favor. Go to these people's channels, grab their channels. You may not like what they have to say. However, these are very, very good content creators. I appreciate them. I try to make my channel a Switzerland for content creators to come to actually have these conversations. That's Switzerland. We're in Switzerland Hotel, so we can have these conversations. Shout out to Faith, definitely a shaker. That's why I got her in the middle. But definitely we're having a conversation. CK, anything you want to say before we get it cracking? Before I get it to Super Mike?
Yeah, so I'm actually surprised by some of the comments, but I'm not going to personally judge anybody. So there's active racism, anti-racism, and passive racism. I know some of us took a stand against negative imagery and commentary, and I just want to say that what we're hearing is passive racism, as in minimizing, downplaying, and even rationalizing things. In this situation, it'd be hate speech. So hate speech is dehumanization, which involves belittling groups and equating them to culturally despised subhuman entities such as pigs, rats, monkeys, or even germs or filth. And what we're seeing in the video, yes, this is a joke. It's meant to be a joke. It's meant to be fun and games. But like I said before, racism, hate speech, and things worse than that start off as humor, nothing to see here, but it influences other people. So there's a lot of
is that why all these kids are killing kids, bro?
The
Is that why
KKK
7,000?
the KKK started. We're not the black community.
Bro.
The black community is not on trial. Anytime, you know the problem I have with a lot of these brothers from the manosphere and that kind of that lean that way
is. It okay for me to just finish my sentence? Is that okay?
Wherever you're from. Anytime we want to have a conversation.
Mary, I got you, bro. Let's get finished. We're gonna go ahead.
Go ahead. I just got a couple more sentences. I'm just trying to be polite, not trying to go off, but that's the thing. Like, we know about active racism, and I think we should all practice anti-racism and speak against this, because once we turn a blind eye, it's going to get worse and it's going to snowball and turn into something great. And so I know there was a comment made that the Divestors have not spoke on this. So earlier in the broadcast, we showed Madam Kara's channel, which she's the one that said this is just a joke. She don't think it's a big deal. So this is a new trend. The Divestors are starting to pick it up because they're having a civil war. They're starting to pick this up and speak on it. And if we align ourselves with this type of imagery and say it's no big deal and we have passive racism, then we might as well just accept other things that's hate speech, such as someone acting like, non-black people acting like monkeys while we eat bananas, or imagery where it's strange fruit on someone's YouTube channel as supposed to be comedy and nothing to see here. I know we can't reach out and do anything to anyone, but we as content creators who have agreed to eliminate negative content and not associate ourselves with negative people, I think we should have anti-racism as a viewpoint with this and not be passive, because if we're passive, then we're somewhat hypocritical to things that we're saying we're not supposed to do. I'm going on mute.
Okay. And I just want to say,
I guess I'm just a super racist BMT.
No, thank you, Trey. We know, Trey. That's why I still rock with you to the end. I'm just saying, these things always come back to bite people. I remember the dude who got shot by the police, and I think he had a white or Asian girlfriend or baby mama, and all his stuff that he said about black women came up. And then what black women said, they're not going to march for him. Then another thing, I swear, when people die, whatever you did in the dark, it comes to the light. And then other people be like, oh, so that's all you used to think. And then
that's cat, bro.
No, Trey, because I'm still, dog. I'm saying, dude, whenever you die, you know it's not like you could defend yourself what you put on Facebook or what you put on social media, but they're gonna be like, it's gonna be up to the public to say, yo, so Trey, that's what you thought? Hell, even I gotta admit, like, yo, some stuff I said, hey, good thing I paid for my own funeral, but I ain't looking for no GoFundMe to fund me. I did my own suffering, so
but see,
you
that's
gotta
why,
bro.
toes down.
BMT,
Whatever you said,
black folks burn. BMT, come on, bro. Black folks burn this whole country down for a crackhead, man. And wearing crackheads around, they worshiping crackheads on the side of a building. There's a statue of them up in Newark and some other city. Come on, bro.
now,
wait a minute.
Trey,
Wait, hold on.
Trey, okay, do not take the bait. Don't take the bait. I'm telling you, Trey is a master of what he does. Let me get to Super Mike. My God, y'all have a great panel. Let me just get to Super Mike. Nothing surprises me. It would come out of Trey's mouth. Just be covered up in the blood.
It's the truth, bro.
Go ahead, Super Mike. Go ahead, Super Mike.
That's not the truth. Like you have to show me the clause in the Constitution that says if you're a crackhead, you don't have access to due process. George Floyd, civil rights were violated. That's one reason why the officer went to jail.
Hold on.
Don't take his bait.
Hey,
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. That is so getting clipped to Mary. Thank you.
Good. It's good. No, that's his fun right there. You just walked into it, but no, it's cool. But no, I just wanted to say something about what you said earlier, BMT, because, like I said, these people. I mean, Trey is right. These people can do what they want to do. I mean, that's what they do. But what I'm saying is, most of our community is just going to be led. Okay, some of the people are going to recognize trends and actually start trends to like lead people into empowerment or into better situations. And that's what I think, is important. If you want to be somebody who want to, lead your family into something a little bit more powerful instead of being somebody's slave, then they put on that so-called challenge, they put the song Wade in the Water. Black people had to run from Massa in swamps right there in South Carolina, running away and telling the children to be quiet, wade in the water, having them hums and stuff. And, that's just shitting on all of our history, the survivors, but, we got all sorts of stories that Black people wrote during that time showing how horrible it was, Black people, Black women killing slave masters for raping them in their tent. Celia, the slave in Missouri. You got Harriet Jacobs that had to hide from Massa up in an attic 7 years. She did not leave that attic because this Massa was coming around trying to rape her. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, show the receipts, bro. Can we see the receipts? Please drop the link in the back. No, can you drop the link in the back for that story?
No, I don't have time right now, but I told you the names. Harriet Jacobs, you can type that in Google. You can type Celia the slave. Excuse me, Celia is with a C. Celia. She killed the slave master because he was raping her in Missouri. And then you can also just type in, there's a book called How They Bred Slaves and Breeding Practices of the Masters. Those slave masters would go into places. They would just have kids with all of these women, these slave women, but they still had to work. And then when it was like a situation with like over 60 babies, they would put them in this little trough or whatever, like a little feeding trough, and so the women can go out there and work all day. And then it rained, but they wouldn't let them go back. And then when they came back, finally, every last one of them babies died. So I mean, these are situations, firsthand knowledge, and you laugh. That's something that this guy laughs at. Stuff like that.
I'm sorry, bro. Let me mute because this is too funny.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the divestment mentality. It's equal on the male and female side because they hate Black people, and so they have no feeling. Yeah, they have no feeling. They don't have empathy. Yeah, they don't have empathy for other Black people in our trials and stuff. So if you're somebody who actually likes Black people and wants Black people to actually get into a situation of power, I mean, just let those people die off. Let them breed into whatever the hell they want to breed into. And we just try to, develop. That's pretty much all I can say.
Hey, I just want
especially that dog dude. The dog dude.
I just want us to stay focused on one thing. remember the age of the people that's in this video in these videos.
Right.
And I want to keep
I
reminding
like you,
y'all.
Kay. You are very accurate. You are very
I
accurate
just
on
want to
this.
say this because I believe, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I'm the only millennial on this panel, and the age of the people in these videos are younger than I am. So y'all using words like divestment. No, people my age and younger, we're not interested in that term. We don't even know what that term means. I'm talking about in the real world.
Really?
I want to get back. I know what it means, but I'm talking about, do you think the women that are in these TikTok videos know what divestment is? They may know, they may be practicing it, but what I'm saying is there's terms being used here. There's perspectives that are being approached on this panel right now that's not really taking in consideration real world effects, what's really happening outside of the internet because of, and that is what I think is more important, because the
Should it be
goalpost
illegal, bro?
should what be illegal?
What these girls are doing up here? Should it be illegal?
No, it shouldn't be illegal.
Why
But
why would it be illegal? What
let me
law
That's
are
respond
what
to
I'm
they
that.
saying.
breaking?
Let me respond to that since he
Lord have
asked.
mercy.
Should it be illegal? Of course not. But what should be expected from this is what we should be talking about. Because when it happens, as it continues to happen and escalate, I don't want anyone to be crying about it or whining, talking about how can these people not be mature enough to see the trees from the forest, and why do we keep falling for traps and we keep going through the same things. It's because one group, one generation can see it and kind of wants to ignore it, while the other generations are falling victim to it and sliding down the slippery slope further than those that came before them. So we
But young
need not
blood,
into
young
certain talking points and slavery and Harriet Tubman and this, that, and the third. No, let's focus on this. And
but young blood, what problem are they causing?
if we're okay
No,
with
no,
what we're
no,
seeing,
no, no. Stop it, Trey. Stop it, Trey.
no,
Stop it
all
there.
I
It's
want.
a real question. What problem are they causing, young blood?
We have other people on the panel, Trey. I know what you're doing. Stop it. We'll get to you, Trey. I can promise you can act and grill anybody you want. Now let's get to Ruby. Let's get to Ruby. We got other new people that got to do their openings, and I got to start getting a clock because I know some people got a whole preaching service. So go ahead. What's going on, Class Ruby?
Hey,
Trey.
BMT.
Hey,
Nice to
Ruby.
finally
Hey,
be here again. I missed you.
I miss you too. I miss you too.
I know. I tried. I'm finally here. Okay. So I have a couple things to say, actually. I agree with some of what has already been said or is typing it in the chat as far as just so first thing being that, and I always thought it was a harmful thing, and I always said it was going to lead to exactly where it's leading now, where if we allow the whole negation of not even just slavery, but just everything that happened after slavery, from the harmful impacts of predatory loans and redlining and so on and so forth, and like the targeted attacks that the Black community has actually faced, and the racism and systemic racism that still exists and still prevails up until recent days, not just like decades old stuff. Well, then what you're going to end up having is a young generation, not the millennial generation, because we're all almost 40 now, late 20s to early 40s, but more so we're talking about disease. Disease are growing up in this lie that we're in this post-racial society and racism doesn't even exist, and maybe slavery never even happened, and so who cares if I make jokes about he, my, Massa, because that's not even a real thing. It's basically not even real. And that's how they really are seeing it, unfortunately. And that's point one. And my quicker point two is TikTok, which I don't think people really understand algorithms. I don't think they understand the impact of algorithms. I don't think they understand how algorithms are built to be intentionally predatory, and not just predatory as far as like, taking advantage of something you already believe, but they're actually made, in the case of TikTok, I actually just watched a documentary. They just released about it yesterday. In the case of TikTok, they've made the algorithm so predatory that this app goes through your phone, your emails, it goes through even your unsent emails, it goes through your pictures, it goes through your search history, it goes through anything you've ever done. Okay. And based on that, no matter what things you said you wanted to see on TikTok, it starts sending you things that you say sent in your text messages, so on and so forth, jokes, whatever, right? And then it hammers them into you. So, for example, when they found out girls have eating disorders, they will just send them stuff of just eating disorders. That's it. And they'll just hammer them, right? So even though they're trying to be in the path to recovery, they're just getting sicker and sicker because TikTok is actually manipulating people. So they get stuck in this vortex and they can't get out of it. And so they do the same thing to the Black community. They don't allow anything positive from the Black community. This is actually documented fact. They don't allow anything positive from the Black community to actually go viral. They only allow anything destructive or anything, stupid like dance stuff. And even the dance stuff doesn't go viral. It just gets released to, let's say, popular young white content creators, so that way they can then make it go viral. That's basically what they said. And they did this on purpose, and they're doing it on purpose. So we got to realize that social media is manipulating people heavily and really kind of poisoning their minds. And there's a really bad fallout that takes years to get over. That's my opening.
Well, okay. All right. So we got everybody's opening out the way. I'm giving you my honest opinion. This is who's typing? Can y'all just mute while you're typing? Just mute while you're typing. We can actually hear you on your phone. Now, I don't listen. These ain't my women, but this will affect other generations of people. This ain't my women, but these will affect other generations of people. Not saying that I listen. I get people have their opinion, but I'm not gonna pretend like whenever people judge Black people predominantly off of social media. I don't know how the hell I got put into that card, but sadly, whenever people want to know about Black people, the first thing they do, look it up online, look up social media, and that's how they go off of us as a group or some conglomerate. I didn't make the rules. I just know they just do that. Now, this does hurt the imagery of swirlers. This hurts our imagery because I don't know what's going on with daddy or mommy issues or whatever y'all got going on, but swirlers, y'all might want to have a conversation. I don't know on y'all channels, like, hey man, like this y'all looking crazy as shit. Like we don't get down like this, like we don't. But however, some people maybe that's what they're into. Now I do know when people die or get capped or when things happen, like get chopped up, choppy suey, they always pull up the stuff that they said or did online. I'm telling you, y'all just gave the incels goddamn a whole forest fire of narratives to run off of. They like being shot. They like being killed. Same thing like goddamn when we see them Black men like being walked down the aisle like dogs by a white girl. They said, well, they like being slaves. They like being dominated by whatever group. These things are going to keep on happening. Now, these girls that like this type of interaction, live your best life. But I'm going to say this. Don't be bringing y'all Black asses back over saying, hey, I had a mixed baby. Y'all Black people, where y'all at for protection? Stay over there and hold down your own shit. Like, hold your shit down. Go back to Massa's plantation. You found your home. I am happy for these women. I'm very happy. But I don't want to hear no shit about protection. Do not run that card to me. This is an accountability. Just like the dudes who be going around saying the crazy shit about pump and dump. I gotta hold that card to say, yo, every Black man ain't trying to do the pump and dump shit. Now, this shit, I'm telling you right now, is making Black women look goofy as fuck. 1 minute y'all all of a sudden y'all educated. Now all of a sudden, Massa challenge. You can't say we a majority on one thing, but then we don't agree on another thing. You got to call out the good and the bad. Just like I have to call out the good and the bad. That's my opinion about this. So if the women are doing this shit, just like the older women that we listen to, Madam Kendra, Madam Madra, whatever. Is it Madra? Midra? Madra? Whatever. Listen, some of these women are fine with it. As long as it ain't a black man, they fine with the shit. But a lot of these other motherfuckers, no. So y'all women, I encourage y'all, call out this behavior. CK, you got it. I'm about to do commercials break. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say the current version of the internet with social media came to fruition around May 2011, and the content creation and sharing became popular like 5 years ago. So I saw Faith put a question in the back, and I'm just going to kind of give my answer to that. So the older generations didn't have social media; they didn't have the current internet. So the way that they communicated is almost like next to nothing with how much we communicate. So our influence reaches worldwide in a matter of seconds. So with this hate speech, that's the challenge. I think everybody should focus on the challenge and not really pontificate outside of that. The what this challenge communicates is exactly what it is, of person of no color being Massa, and they're Massa of someone of color. So if you change the race, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter because of the context, but we shouldn't change the race, because what we have is someone of color being held by someone of no color, and then, being called Massa. So the older generation couldn't stop things like we can, because they're not tech savvy and they're not really in the information age like we are. So it's up to us to give an opinion like we're all doing. And you're either active racist, anti-racist, or passive racist. And if you're passive, that's your choice. No one's going to judge you, because hate speech is illegal. However, it's up to TikTok and their policies as far as what they do with this, if people decide to flag it. But if someone's going to decide to be passive racist, and they're going to say this is just a joke, just understand that next time someone uses the N-word, be passive and have that same energy. Next time someone burns across in the yard, keep that same energy, because no one's asking you to march. No one's asking you to chase anyone down. It's all about, where do you stand with the idea that this challenge communicates? And it's not censoring anyone, because hate speech and hate crime is something that has legislation censoring it. And we collectively have decided that this is not something that we're going to have anymore, because of the historical connotations and different events that have taken place in 1950s and before, before the civil rights movement. So if someone is going to continue to be passive, including on this issue, then be passive all the way around, and don't really stand for anything and fall for everything. So go ahead with the commercial, BMT. I'm done.
Roger that. So let me go ahead and do this one for y'all. This is my favorite time of the show, where I get to showcase the lovely, amazing channels that make YouTube great. If y'all guys don't mind, do I have the permission to actually showcase y'all channels? I need y'all permission first. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You already know. Thank you so much for that. I actually do appreciate when y'all allow me to showcase your channels. So, you guys, with no further ado, who's that right down there? Trey. I did not drop you, Trey. So I don't want to hear that shit that I dropped.
No, that was me, bro. That was me.
Okay, I know who you get. So, you guys, let me showcase your channel. You guys, make sure y'all send me. I got to grab Shar but let me go ahead and grab your channel. First off, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank y'all. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please subscribe to these channels. Reaction Satisfaction, a great channel where you're giving the honest reactions and satisfaction of viewing shows about dialogue of different popularity of beliefs and opinions that happen from day to day. Please join us in that channel where you can get a good reaction to your satisfaction. Also, the Faith Factor. The Faith Factor hosted by the one and only Faith, where you can get an honest, non-biased opinion about that from a mature woman. She gives you talk, dialogue of different descriptions of different topics that come about day to day. Catch her in the evenings or the mornings on the Faith Factor. Alongside with that, the Mary Brown Show. The Mary Brown Show, giving out cultural-based information that literally goes from history, dialogue, and conservative rights for that of the African diaspora. Please join the Mary Brown Show. Thank you. Alongside with that, Trey MBD, the non-apologetic conservative gulag gang, right? What I wouldn't call him a theorist, but however, Trey MBD gives you information. It is not for the faint of heart. If you are sensitive, please don't go to his panel. He is very masculine and very straightforward, and he does not care for your feelings. Proud veteran, as well as he has a lot of good talking points and some really bad ones. But I still appreciate Trey MBD. Along with that, Super Mike 2164, giving out cultural information. Super Mike, he goes through a whole dialogue of information, documents, as well as talking points. It would actually be the polar opposite of how Trey talks. And literally, he goes in talking about things that are not of the fan of heart on family, politics, government, as well as lobbying for Black people. Also, not last but never least, and I have to grab her channel. Where is Char Classic Ruby channel? Y'all have two names. My God. Like I gotta
Okay,
find y'all.
I sent you both Shar and Melody's links because that's where I stream Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay, thank you. I will be grabbing that in a few seconds. But while we're waiting for that, you guys, I will now be passing it over to the next person.
Hey, BMT,
go ahead,
can I get it? I got to take off, bro. Hey, can I get it real quick?
Let me.
Mary, I got to take off.
Yeah. Let me just read this real quick. Snuggle says this. Snuggle says, shout out to the $5. Is this the same concept as the elder generation not wanting you young people to use the N-word as a term of endearment, or am I misunderstanding? Go ahead, Trey.
I was gonna, respond to the co-host, man. Look, bro.
Go ahead. You got.
Yeah. Hate speech isn't illegal, bro. And what you're responding to as hate speech is just speech that you hate. You just don't like it. You just don't like to see Black girls up there just having fun, being feminine, calling the dude Massa who isn't daggone freaking Black. Here's the deal. I could go out there and make a TikTok challenge tomorrow with 50 white women calling daggone Black dudes Massa, and all you're gonna get is a bunch of people crying in the opposite direction. It is what it is. It ain't hate. It's just people having fun, just living their lives. Let them be. They're not going out there killing. They're not going out there stabbing. They ain't carjacking, doing any of that stuff. And that's what's really going on in the community. So all this anti-racism, passive, all this nonsense is just Marxism, bro. All it is veilingly disguised communism, all wrapped up in that daggone clown stuff. Yeah, all it is. And here's the deal. And this is where I agree with the divestors like Cynthia G and Coriander Gander. It makes you look weak as hell. It makes you look soft. And I can see why they're going out getting with base white dudes. Who the hell wants to be at home with a man that they don't feel can protect them? A man that's scared of the other men. A man that's a TikTok challenge to get some in their feelings. Don't no woman want to be around that. And on that, Mary, I'll see you tonight on the Private of Thought. They come through later on the night, BMT. Peace out, brother.
Oh Lord, I need a drink before I go over there. I'm gonna need a drink. All right. I'll probably see you over there, Trey. Please, y'all don't harass my nerves when I come over there. Mary, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Okay, Mary's not there. We will be going on down. How you doing, Faith? Faith, I know you heard a lot. I know you're very surgical about your assessment. Faith, what do you think? They're saying that the mature people, y'all probably are not looking at it how the immature people are looking at it, or maybe there's a disattachment, or what do you think is going on, Faith? What's going on through your mind?
Well, the brother that just spoke, he said exactly what I was thinking. To me, mind your own business. That's how I feel. People are sitting up here too busy looking over their shoulder at the next person and what the next person is doing, when the only person you can really control at the end of the day is you. Now, if you angry because these people have kind of jumped the fence and they're out there having fun in their own way that you don't like, then maybe it's because your influence sucks. And the reason why I asked in the back chat, what have the older generations done to kind of help counteract stuff like this from happening, is because to me, the older generation ain't done nothing but look out for themselves. Now, we did have that civil rights generation and they put in work, but then after a lot of them were killed off or died or what have you, nobody else picked up the torch. Everybody else just went on about their business of damaging the Black community to where it is now, where you have these women sitting up here afraid to leave their houses because they're afraid they're going to get attacked, you know, as they walk down the street, thrown in garbage dumpsters, hit up the head by skateboards or whatever. So this is what these women are experiencing. All that. Excuse me, it's my turn.
Okay.
If this is what the women are experiencing, you cannot get mad if they look outside of their group and say, hey, I want something different. Now, these women are not being harmed. Like CK said, they're not in any danger. They're with their man and they're having fun doing their TikTok challenge. And like the brother said, they're not stealing anything. They're not breaking in nobody's houses. They're not shooting up the block. They're just on TikTok having fun with their non-Black man that they chose. And to me, I would rather that than shooting up the block. People going to school, they can't even go to school because they got gangs in the school intimidating them. Now you got to go hide in the library because you're scared to go to class. This is what we got in the community for real. And people want to get upset about grown folks and who they choose to lay with. See, that's the problem with the Black community. We are so fixated on who other people are screwing that we are not really fixated on the actual real problems in the community. Don't none of y'all ever get on here and talk for hours and hours about putting money towards education in your community, bettering after school activities in your community so that these young people can have something to do rather than just hang out, get pregnant and all this other stuff that we have running rampant in the community that's actually bad, that's actually hurting the community. This is not hurting the community by a long shot. These are just a few people that's doing their thing, and I'm finna man my own business because they not bothering me. Now, it's not my cup of tea, but just because it's not my cup of tea don't mean that I have a right to tell them that they can't do what they're doing and they're not bothering anybody. The only people that they're bothering is the people that care who everybody else is sleeping with. And I'll just yield the mic.
All right, can I
let me say something. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, with
go
that,
ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. I don't have time to keep trying to explain something to people who just can't get it. So y'all have a good day.
You fine. You're fine. It's a conversation. It's just a conversation.
No, but I mean, two other guests have spoken on it eloquently and have broken it down. The brother who's the millennial has broken it down and talked about the long-term impact of it. And it's like we still keep getting these straw man arguments that we ain't talking about. You see what I'm saying? Like this is propaganda. It's propaganda. That's what the sister was talking about when she was talking about the way these algorithms are set up. And if you notice, nobody ever addressed when I said that if these were Jewish girls running around with Nazis talking about the damn Nazi challenge, you can't tell me that the Jewish community would have let this go. The AL, what that is,
you would never see that. You would never see it.
And this is why you would never see it, because the Jewish community have organizations that's set up to defend Jewish people. We are the only group of people where we don't have any real civic organizations set up specifically to protect Black people and Black interests. But we'll get all these choruses from amongst our own ranks telling us how we worried about who people sleeping with, this, that, and the third, or whatever, when that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. It's propaganda. That's why it's on social media. That's why it's going viral. That is the purpose. But we still act like we can't get it. It ain't no problem. I'm going to ignore it. Then why you up here talking about it? This is like the other guy, Trey. You're sitting up here. You want to come up here and be antagonistic and say stuff because you're trying to be too cute by half, thinking you're getting under our skin.
If you have no interest in this community, in this community, take your goddamn ass over there where you do want to be a part of those communities. Every time, and that's what I wanted to tell him. Every time we have these conversations about Black life, we always want to put Black people on trial, and it'd be other Black people doing it. Take your ass somewhere else and talk to those other people then. You see what I'm saying? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this propaganda that is harmful. That's why it's going viral. That's how the algorithms are set up. Period. Like what? There's nothing else to. It's just a fact. We already know this is a fact.
Well, what are you gonna do about it, Amiri?
Well, this is what we're gonna do about it, Faith. Because the thing is, Faith, and that's cool. And, you know, everybody have their little way they want to look at this stuff. But to me, talking about what did the other generations do, that's some reason to kind of make an excuse why you're not doing nothing. Because this is what produces
I'm not
mass
doing nothing because
hysteria.
these people are not bothering me. The people that's bothering me is the
Okay,
people
all right.
that's riding up on the block,
fine.
shooting up the block.
How
That's
did
what's
that
bothering
happen?
me.
How
And
did
what
that
I do
happen?
about that is
How
I
did that
call the
happen?
police. But what these people are doing
How
on their
did it
TikTok,
happen?
that ain't got nothing to do with me. They are peaceful in
How?
what they doing, and it don't bother me.
What?
But what's bothering me is these
What?
people walking around here
What?
shooting up the block,
Let me
doing
ask.
all types of
How
horrible
did that
things,
happen?
running up there,
Hold on.
spreading shit all
Hold
over
on.
somebody. Now that's what's bothering
Okay.
me. But
Okay.
people that's peacefully doing
Okay,
their little
Faith.
thing with they significant other, that don't bother
I
me.
hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But I'm gonna ask you this: what did the older generations do to create an environment to stop people from shooting up the place? Most people didn't. Most people that wanted to do something was saying, let's do something about this, otherwise our children gonna be out here violent, shooting up the place. And people like you saying, y'all need to stop worrying about that. It ain't nothing yet. You
No,
gotta wait
people like
until it
me
starts
care about
shooting
people
up.
shooting up the place. Now, if you making my
No.
environment volatile, I care about
It,
that. But who you
it,
sleeping with,
it
I could
didn't
care less.
start off
That is
like
not
that
my
though,
business.
Faith. It didn't start off like that, Faith.
Well, let me respond to that because she asked me specifically the question, so I do want to respond.
I mean, let him get it. Let Super Mike get his whole thought out. Like no one's interrupted anybody. You know, we should take turns. I got roasted, and I was silent and on mute. So let Super Mike finish his thought.
Okay.
And BMT, let me know if I'm stepping over the line. But
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
let Super Mike finish his
You're
thought.
good. You're good.
Yeah, we should
Yeah, I
give
just wanted to
everybody a
say-
chance to get their full comment out and not like cut them off because then it becomes rude. And we want to have a decent panel. Go ahead, Super Mike.
Yeah,
you can
but
finish, and then
yeah,
it's up to you.
He just kind of jumped in,
I
but
was
never.
just because I thought you was done speaking.
Let go finish, Mike.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
you was coming off. No, that's the only reason why I jumped in, Amir, because I thought you said you were had
No,
to
that's
go.
fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I pretty much agree with your point, so I wanted to answer that. The thing is though, with Faith is this is what I'm saying. It's not an older generation like everybody. It's in every generation you got doers, and then you got people who ain't gonna do nothing, who just want to talk about stuff bad and spit on, and then you got people who want to spit on the people who trying to do something, even if it ain't perfect, you know. And that's what we're looking at again in this generation. It's like we see this problem, we see that this thing is small now. This little shitting on Black history is small now. Talking about Massa, and we see where it could trend to where later on somebody in a different generation will be talking about how come we in slavery now, and then they'll play this TikTok video from 2 generations ago, like, well, this is what they wanted, they liked it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talked about it, nobody resisted, nobody even, so. This is what we're doing. We go back in time and we pull up some story from in New York Times or some story from some old history written in the paper. And because we don't see what the Black people did to resist it, we say they didn't do nothing. Well, you're just not pulling up the stories from the people who did resist. And that's how you teach this stuff piecemeal. And that's what we got going on right now. So it's just like we documenting, like, this is not cool, guys. We not, we don't want this trend. We can't stop them because right now we're not in control of TikTok. We're not in control. But this is what we can do. We're documenting our, this is what it is. And that's all you can do. Some going to agree with you, some not. And those people who don't agree with you, let them go.
No.
Can I add something
I would
here?
Okay. What
If
you got
I
to say?
could add something.
Go ahead.
Because I just wanted to say the point that I made about the algorithm, what was just said is so pivotal and people don't realize that. So the fact that like they didn't understand when Facebook was put on trial and admitted, yeah, they take stuff out of the search results, they add stuff into the search results and so on and so forth. And Google admitting the same thing, it is very problematic because what you don't realize, first of all, is that the algorithm is only going to push things towards you that they think you're going to click on. Okay. But there's all kinds of different biases that are naturally built into our brains that make us very unlikely to think any way other than the way that we're manipulated to being to thinking. So for example, our bias that the first thing or the first 5 things or only the first page of the Google results are true and valid information, right? The most true, the most valid information starts with hit number 1 and then hit number 2 and then hit number 3. Okay, that's already a bias right there. So if the algorithm is only sending you things that they think you're going to click on, and then all you're going to get are stuff that they want you to, oh, well, you're pro-conservative or whatever, so they're only going to send you pro-conservative thought, well, then you're going to think you're right no matter what. They're not sending you an unbiased list, right? There's this whole thing called the list effect that's very problematic. Or like the fact that, for example, they will just by, if in that first page, just by taking out one negative story, just taking out one negative story and leaving only positive stories, entirely changes your whole worldview about whatever you're looking at. So if they take away one negative story because, I don't know, maybe they thought it was offensive, or maybe, I just disagreed with Google's views about something or whatever, it's going to turn your whole entire mind. They've done studies to prove it will shift you from one side dramatically to the other. So we don't really realize how much the internet is actually manipulating us. And that data, and here's the problem. So the older generation, which honestly isn't even really the millennials, it's going to be the Generation Xers, right? And the boomers who barely understood the internet, but whatever. When the social media boom, when this internet boom happened, right? First of all, everyone just believed the companies when they said, we're not evil. We promise to do no evil. Yeah, okay, fine. We're taking your data, but it's just to help with advertising. People believed them. They did. And so that's how the internet was able to grow the way it was, because people believed them. People thought that, yeah, okay, I know my data is being taken, but it's to try to, target the right ads towards me. They didn't think it was to try to manipulate you into staying there longer, to clicking on all these things and to believing certain things, to the point where it can even change your political views and so on and so forth. They didn't think that was happening. And so part of the issue is because the internet and social media and whatever was such a massive unknown, and then it just took over the world in a matter of a couple of years, right? The older generation haven't done much, right? Because they don't know what to do. And the things that they think that they're doing right end up, after study, not being right. And so there isn't actually an answer of what to do. No one knows what to do. So that's why nothing's actually been done. So we can point out concerns. We can try to call these companies to task and so on and so, but no one knows what to do yet. That's the problem with a massive unknown that changes the globe, which honestly we haven't had before. We've never had something en masse affect pretty much the whole planet and change everything about it all at once, and then literally just like one generation, right? So most of the millennials, at least we were kind of born in Generation X kind of rules and stuff. It's kind of the reason why a lot of us got screwed over. But the Generation C was born into this, born and raised into this. Their whole entire world is completely different. So the things that used to work don't work. The tactics we understood can't be applied anymore, and so on and so forth. It's a problem. There's a massive problem. So, we can't even use the same arguments we used to use, say, going between the boomers and the Generation X, because, we have to understand how fundamentally different social media and the internet really is.
I want to, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because I'm looking at what Faith said. Is really what these girls on TikTok doing equivalent and dangerous with their mates, with their people, as the stuff we have going on right now in the community. I want to start out that right there. Is that fair to say, Faith? Is that with I'm looking at what Faith brought up, and with all the stuff happening, is what these girls are doing. You know, in response to everything that's been going on for the years, is it equivalent and dangerous? Is this going to cause us to go in a darker tube of, I don't know, I might wake up one day and I'm barefoot and in my drawers and picking goddamn peaches or strawberries. Hopefully I have to go get rice. But who knows? Or is it the stuff that's actually in the community that we're not focusing on? Okay, I'm gonna throw it in your lap. But Faith asked a valid question. Y'all want the divestors, mind you, and I'm be fair. I know a lot of interracial couples, they don't even allow you to say the N-word in the house. Or yeah, they just don't allow you to say a lot of stuff. Like, there are some horror stories, but then again, some of the other times it's like, are you already were we already there? I don't know. I mean, I live down the road from a peach orchard, but I only see Hispanics out there. So hey, I'm not judging them. But is this what the women are doing equivalent to the dangers in the community? Or can it lead up to those dangers? Kay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but I almost want to bow
You got
myself right now because
Go ahead, man.
it sounds like at first I thought we were talking past each other, but we've gotten so
No.
far
We're
away.
not going to get
That question right
Go ahead.
there has nothing to do with what I was speaking on earlier on my Dr. Martin Luther King speeches. You know what I'm saying? So maybe CK or someone else want to address that question, because I couldn't care less, who someone chooses to date or not. As far as false equivalencies, does who someone chooses to date, is that equivalent to drill music in Chicago? That's basically what's being asked. You know what I'm saying? And is that a genuine or disingenuous question? I don't have a YouTube page. I don't have talking points. I don't want anybody to follow me. It sounds like there's talking points, maybe for attention or something like that. I do want to point out something that was very pointed to me that was there earlier, which is, mind your business. And now I'm starting to really take some steps back and feel like maybe I need to mind my business as far as, what people who I might want to protect get involved in. And, if it goes astray, it goes astray. And if it doesn't go astray, then, blessed by God or blessed by whatever spirits or protections people might believe in. I I can't answer that question because it doesn't seem genuine to me. I'm concerned, right? And now,
Well, it was very genuine. It was and very
not
valid. So you wanna talk about slavery. I hate when people deflect to slavery. And that question
Hold
was
on, Faith.
actually,
Hold on, Faith.
wow.
okay, all right, because see, I hate when people do that. They want to deflect to slavery. Slavery was 200 years ago. This is right now.
Who said anything about slavery? Are you confusing the people that are speaking?
Oh, I'm sorry, but were you the one that was talking about slavery earlier? Because if you wasn't, then I apologize. But somebody was deflecting from
I
slavery.
can't accept that apology because I never said anything.
Okay, well, don't accept it then.
No. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and bow out, and I'm gonna let the elder generations worry about this. Just don't complain about what us young people are doing then. You know what I'm saying? Mind y'all's business about those people that's kicking in y'all doors with the fofos. You know what I'm saying? Just like I need to mind my business on what's happening with black women or other black men. There is no community. Based off of what I'm hearing right here, nobody is genuinely interested on what's happening and what could happen because of what might be happening right in front of our eyes. And they're waiting for a small snowball to turn into an avalanche before the problem should be addressed. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Can I ask how old you are?
I'm gonna let y'all take care of it.
Okay.
I appreciate you, BMT, for having
me. Don't leave.
Again, I don't have.
Don't leave. Can I just ask how old you are, please, really quick before you go?
I'm just all of y'all.
Well, you don't know how old I am, so how do you know
30.
that?
You said you were in. I think you said you were either 39 or 40. I'm 30.
No, I didn't say 39 or 40. I'm 37.
Well, like I said,
BMT is
y'all.
near your age. We're all millennials. I'm a
Nah,
millennial
I'm
too.
go
You're a
ahead and bow
millennial.
out. You know what I'm saying?
BMT
I
is a
appreciate it.
millennial. CK's a millennial. Please don't leave. It, it,
Well,
it's
bad.
not.
Shit, get the hell on.
We're not even old people. BMT, why didn't you correct that from time? I was so confused. I'm like, but BMT's like, he's not old. None of us are old. I don't know how old Faith is, but she don't look old to me.
Before we kind of go down the road of comedy, I just want to kind of respond. So Trey, the NBD, and maybe Faith as well, but Faith, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So they said this isn't hate speech, just speech I hate. So when it comes to the First Amendment doesn't protect hate speech, such as speech or communication that causes an immediate breach of the peace and fighting words. So you can't just use the N word all willy nilly. You can't you can't communicate blackface, and the Massa challenge, even though it's allowed to be harbored on a Chinese website, if it's flagged and people flag it for hate speech, it'll more than likely come down. So I mean, of course, we're not judges or anything, but it does fall under hate speech, in my opinion. And then the Department of Justice enforces federal hate crimes, which includes hate speech, when the crimes committed are on the base of race, color, religion, so on and so forth, because the focus is on race. So, I know we're getting kind of personal with this, and we're name calling, and
I don't want it to get personal.
And we're deflecting to shooting up the block. And we're deflecting to shooting up the block, who they are sleeping with, and them being happy. The takeaway should be focusing on the actual TikTok challenge, not mind your business, but the actual TikTok challenge, giving an opinion on it. And if people are
But
passive,
that's my opinion. My opinion is mind your business. Because in my opinion, I have other things that I would rather focus on than somebody in who they sleeping with in their TikTok challenge.
But
To
Faith,
me,
you're up here
they're not
speaking
doing
on the
anything
challenge.
to me.
But you're giving your opinion, which
I'm
is great.
up here speaking on the challenge, and that is my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, oh well.
Well, okay, that's your opinion, and that's fine. What I'm saying is that when it comes to a lot of crimes that we see, like the guy who was shooting up NYC subway, for example, it all started with a spark, and that spark became a house fire. Same thing with the Manosphere, Kevin Samuels. We all critique all these different groups, B1. We critique them because we see where it's going. So the spark of this TikTok challenge could start a house fire that could cause an immediate breach of peace, which can be considered fighting words. So if we're okay with it, that's fine. But in my opinion, I stood with content creators and we were against language that was offensive in nature. I think we as Black people, in my opinion, should be anti-racist, even if we are not bothered by it, because it could be a spark that starts a fire and we don't know who's listening live or on the replay. We could be influencing people to be passive, to be desensitized, and even accepting of racist, discriminatory actions and speech. And then we become no better than the previous generation that we claim has not done enough to stop this. We're going to be just like them, going down the same path. If we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything.
So I want to say this. I grew up in the era in the 80s where if you saw something going on with a man or a woman, that wasn't your business. But then it ended up becoming a community problem later on down the line. And then that community problem of that child would go to school and be a blight upon the other kids. The ripple will affect the masses eventually, some way or the other. It just is.
Okay, but BMT, what I'm saying is in those videos, are these people in danger? Are they endangering the community?
No, it's if you're saying are those people
No,
in
the
danger?
answer is just no. They're not. Like,
No.
I know what you're saying. Like, in a household, there was a household down the street from me. There was a man that was constantly beating his wife's ass, and it went from inside their house to yelling and screaming. You can hear her fighting him for her life, and then it trickled to outside. That's a community issue. But these people with their boyfriends on TikTok laughing with their tongue in cheek with their little TikTok challenge, that's not on the same level at all.
Now, Faith, I'm gonna ask you this: Do you think the moniker of pump and dump is dangerous to the community?
Yeah, that is dangerous to the community because now you're sitting up here with guys that want to sit up here and pump on women, and then they're not even talking about using birth control or any type of condoms or anything, or protecting themselves from STDs. That is a danger to the community. But these are people that are in relationships doing a TikTok challenge with people that they're in a relationship with, or we assume they're in a relationship.
Okay, that's true. That's fair. For me, because I'm for comedy, I just don't care for this comedy. And I have a very dark humor. I really do. I don't show it. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. Like, if it's not for you, not for you. Like, I don't really like. I can honestly say, because some of the white people that did the challenge, they were like, "Whoa, are you crazy?" Like, if y'all get in CK, you did the videos, we would do the video. Some of the white people were thrown off, like, "Whoa. You know how hard it is enough for me as a white man? You try to get me fired, or you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. I don't know what you got going on in y'all community, but you're doing the most." But that's how TikTok videos are made. Like, you really don't know what you're doing until they finish the video, and then you're like, "Yo, you did what? You got my face in that?" And, so that's like me doing a slap your mama challenge. I ain't gonna do that. Lord knows, the imagery of what I would hear from people saying, "BMT, what were you thinking?" I think people let these social media things run amok too much, and it puts them in a situation that they can't talk their way out of. And I don't take slavery lightly. Not saying that this is slavery, but that is my history. I know some people say, like, they joke about, like, why do we even have Black History Month or anything of, like, we don't have culture, but this is my history. I'm only speaking for me. And I know, just like I could never do the Mexican Beaner challenge, they would never allow me to do that. They would, you would get hit really hard. Or the immigrant challenge, like these things, that's called hate speech. Anything against a group of people. Now, granted, they are doing it. I wish I knew why they were doing the Wade in the Water song, which is dignified to that of slavery. And I'm like, okay, so what are y'all trying to pinpoint towards? But then I'm like, well, keep that same energy if they do the George Floyd challenge. That's just a joke. It's not hurting nobody. But they trying to pinpoint something. When they were doing, y'all remember the George Floyd challenge when the white people were doing the knee on the neck shit? And I'm like,
yeah,
no, that's not. I think people got fired for that, but they were like,
but
no.
that is actually hurtful to a group of people because a Black man actually died in a violent way. See,
Right.
people need to
Black
put this
people
stuff
died
in
during antebellum
perspective.
slavery.
Kay, hold up, Kay, brother, I want you to understand, I enjoy you coming up here. Be patient. I know you. Be patient. Can you do that and be patient and talk with us and dialogue with us, please?
Yeah, I actually wanted to apologize to I forgot her name, but
Miss Faith.
I hope I didn't disrespect you at all.
It's okay. It's okay. You want to have a dialogue. It's cool. We're here. Faith, CK, Ruby, I'm here, BMT. You're welcome up here. We want to have dialogue conversation. Trust me, Faith is a really good woman. She's hothead when she wants to, but she's really good. She's for men and women. So is Class Ruby.
And I'm sorry, what's your name, brother?
My name is Kamar. I go by K. Like I said, I want
Hey,
to apologize to you because I didn't mean to disrespect you,
cool.
and I just
Very
really want to
cool.
apologize.
Very cool.
you know what? And I want to apologize to you too, because I know that I have a very strong voice and I come off that way to a lot of people. But I promise you, I am not feeling no kind of way about what you said at all. So, your apology accepted. Please accept my apology as well.
Oh yeah, no need to apologize. That was just me being in my feelings in the moment. So thank you.
It's cool. It's cool. You know what? And Kay, I don't want you to give up, bro, because I know what it's like when I used to be heavy in these spaces, and I used to be in. Ruby can hold me to this. I used to be on the panel and say, "Yo, let it all burn." But then I got to remember when I used to sit on the panel, I had to remember that guess what? My kids are still in this community, right? My kids are going to grow up and get older. If it burns, then what's left for them? If everything is gone in our community or our culture, whether I agree, I'm not for the negative of the culture, but I am for the thing that there are good people. Some people can't help be born in the streets of Detroit, DC, different area. They can't help they where they're born. They're not bad people. They're just born in certain circumstances of an area. Faith, she don't mind saying she was born in Chicago. Ruby, she's Ontario. Them Canadians and stuff. They got their own things that they got
What you
going on.
gonna say?
Yeah.
Anyway.
We know about you, DeGrothies.
All right then. All right then. I see you. I got you.
I'm just saying, like, media for Black people, it plays a very cryptic part in our imagery, from rap, music, sexualization. You get what I'm saying, Kay?
Yes.
A lot of these things, and sadly, I gotta say this about Black people. We still don't know how to pick apart what's real or not when it comes to music.
Right.
So I worry about that with some of the rap lyrics, and when they say choke a bitch out, and a young dude hears that, and then he literally thinks, well, shit, if a bitch step out of line, I gotta choke a bitch out.
Right. And that's BMT. This is your show. My bad.
No. Go ahead, bro. I'm just saying
that's why I was saying
our people don't know how to make discernment of what's real and what's unhealthy.
Right. And that's why the first thing I said when I came up here is I think that, as crazy as this might sound, a lot of us is approaching this from too far of a mature perspective, because there are less mature people that see things and hear things, and that's how it goes. So to your point earlier, BMT, there's a whole group of, I guess, they guys out here that call themselves, you said incels, but I just know them as men that want to hurt women anyway in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's my age and younger, and they're looking for a reason. And I have to date these women. You know what I'm saying? So to some people who may not have to date these women anymore, or some of these guys, some of these men, males pretending to be men, want to hurt them, they may not see nothing in this video, but I know that something negative can come from this, because it's like, oh, you see, and then people that can't see as maturely as y'all will be swayed by it, and the fuse get burned a little bit quicker than it would have got burned if none of this ever appeared. Should it be illegal for these things to be showing up? No, I never said that. Freedom of speech, let it all go. But maybe in our community, it should be illegal. We need to be having a task force behind the scenes that check these men and check these ladies that may be off code. And then that's why I love, because I'm like, hold on, I'm thinking about being on code, and that code stuff might just be something of the past. People might really be worried about minding their own business now. Like, it's not about a code. It's not about, circling our wagons. It's more so about circling individual wagons and letting, I guess, the borderline people just fall where they may. and that's why I jumped ship. But I'm like, no, man, I have interest in the men and the women that's on the borderline in our community. The men and the women that's already far to the left, they've already decided. The men and the women that can't be affected by this stuff, they can't be affected by this stuff. But there's a large majority of the people that's in that middle area where, you know, it can be swayed. They can be swayed. And I'm like, man, it can be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And if we act like it can't be a problem, who do we blame 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I'm not blaming no system. I'm not blaming no white man. I forgot the young lady's point. You all are young ladies, but when she started talking about
Now
the
we young?
yeah, you started
Go
talking.
ahead.
Yeah, you
Ruby,
started.
take the compliment, Ruby.
Ruby, yeah, Ruby, you started going in.
Hey, I'll take the compliment.
Yes, ma'am, Faith.
What's some compliments keep coming at y'all as y'all?
Hey,
Time's up now.
Ruby, you started, you know, elaborating very eloquently about the algorithms and how it creates basically echo chambers. But you know, that's too technical for a lot of people. You know, let's just talk about what is projected and what consequences that can follow from it. And
CK, here's the thing, and I'm so glad you brought this up because it was my point I wanted to make before you even started talking, because it's really important that it took me a long time in this space to learn this
Hold
lesson,
up,
to have
Classic
someone
Ruby.
say it
Let
to
the
me.
man finish. Hold up. Let the man finish. I know we're eager to come. Okay, are you done?
I'll yield my time. I'll go ahead. It's all good.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, but it took me a long time to learn this in this space, and it took me a long time after someone told me to really process it. When you're on these panels, like, you're speaking to all of us, right? But we all came up here with mostly our preconceived notions and ideas, and we're very unlikely, everyone here is very unlikely to change their point of view or their position, or even honestly, most discussions yield a point of view and yield a point. Right? But you're not talking to us, really. You're having a conversation with us, but you're speaking for the audience, right? So when you said, well, there's a large majority who are on the fence, right? Or they don't really know, or they could be swayed, right? Every time you get on a panel like this, even if you're super frustrated, even if you're the only one that, you know, sees sense as far as you see it, keep speaking, because you're not speaking to those people on that panel to change their mind. You're speaking to the audience of every person who's going to listen to this stream and listen to the points brought up. And just like the algorithm I brought up, if all they hear are 5 voices that are all saying, you know, the opposite of what you think, then they're going to be swayed. But if they hear even that one dissenting voice that brings up logical points of where the flaws are in the other argument, and what the other argument isn't, you know, really addressing and whatever, well, then hey, they have a reason to stop and not be swayed, and to maybe look deeper or to keep looking for more information. So, like, don't get discouraged, because I really like a lot of your opinions and your points, and I think, you know, your perspective is a really good one, because you're not too young, but you're not too old. You know, like 30 is a good age for, you know, you to be speaking on a lot of things, because you're a young millennial, and that's like a really pivotal generation right now. So I hope going forward, who cares what all of us are saying, old people, young people, whatever, keep speaking, because you're speaking to the audience, not to us, really. That's all I wanted to say.
Got it. Thank you.
Can I say something? Because people in the audience are sitting up here saying that I'm anti-black family and anti-blackness and all that.
No, she's not. She's not like that. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. I mean, people that don't know me and haven't been to my channel, I am very, very pro-black people in general, pro-black couples. However, I'm not about telling people where to go, who to date, who to be with. I'm about getting with like-minded black people that are of the same mindset as I am, and building with those people. These people that were in the video doing this challenge, they don't seem to be the type of people that I would gravitate to or even want to speak with. These are the people that's going to end up like the brother that got killed. And his family is wanting, his brother's sitting up there asking black women to galvanize for his brother. Well, we're not going to galvanize for your brother, because your brother made his choice. And see, that's where I'm at. I'm at that point where if I see that you're over here to the right and I'm over here to the left, you stay where you are and you let your people rally and galvanize for you. Ask those white women that you have been laying up with to galvanize for you. And the same way with these women in the video. If they want to do the Massa challenge, they not hurting me. They not shooting up the block. They not doing anything that's going to be detrimental to my family or what my message is on my channel. My message on my channel is going to be the same whether they're doing this challenge or not. So you do you and you go with your tribe and I'm going to go with my tribe. That's how I feel.
You know, Faith, you brought up a good point. And I definitely want to give you that sentiment. But you guys, if you do not understand that, and I understand y'all have y'all certain feelings about Faith as well as her and think she's satanic or whatever, you can go on down to the Faith Factor channel. Now, I want to show you her channel as well as other channels. So let me go ahead and do that because I love, hang on, look, where's she at? Let's start off with all these channels, these wonderful, amazing channels. Now, you can go to Super Mike. Super Mike, you already know how he is. He's for blacks, for family. Now, he's very strong and critical, but he definitely has a good heart about talking about the family. You can also go to Just Ask Shar, advice channel. Very balanced. Very, very, very good with critiquing for a mature audience, talking about politics, news, lifestyle. Am I correct about that, Ruby?
Yeah, the Fridays open panel, and that's mostly like social stuff. And then Saturdays is our news show, and always ends with the Karen segment. So,
And sometimes you get lucky and you might get a BMT, a wild card that might come up on the panel. Now,
yes.
also along with that, you got Melody, Sweet Melody Media. If I said that correctly?
Yes.
I don't know what Melody talks about. I think she talks about a lot of sweet things like candy and popcorn and stuff for people. So you can always go to Sweet Melody. She talks about some nice things. Now the other thing, and the co-host to that one is Classic Ruby. I really don't know what Melody talks about. I really don't know, y'all. Like maybe I need to go to. Oh, she says no simping. I guess hey, she don't want that y'all kissing her butt. But y'all can go ahead and check her out. And I believe the new co-host you, Ruby?
The new co-host is me. We've 9 weeks strong now. So, this Tuesday we have the whole concept of, the big O, because it's DJ Envy and his wife. And we're going to go back to talk about some of what the Jada Will fiasco said about the big O and female pleasure. And I mean, in this space, in the manosphere space, they're talking about how the big O is pointless for women, how it has no reproductive value, so on and so forth. So we're going to touch on all of it. We talk about everything.
Guys are really saying that?
Yeah.
I want to be there. Be there for that.
Video. We be there. Be square.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the next thing you also want to go to, make sure you grab Trey MBD, the Trey MBD show, the unadulterated Gulag Gang, River Dog. Yes, you will get some very, 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 very strong opinions from the right winger himself. He has no problem being unfiltrated. And literally, he does not care about your feelings, but literally, he'll give you his opinions. He hates feminism. He hates the left. And also, he hates BLM. I know that much about Trey. So, if you want to go hear about all that stuff, go to Trey, the MBD. Next, the Mary Brown Show, talking about political and as well as constructional information for Black people, as well as information that you need to be up on. Check out the Mary Brown Show. Whenever he comes on, if he does still come on. Also, one of my faves, one of the big day ones of the BBN, the Faith Factor, the one show where, yes, y'all, she does not hate Black people. Lord knows if I have to do a stream to tell y'all Faith does not hate Black people. Faith does not hate Black people. She does not hate Black men. She does not hate Black people. She just wants accountability. Am I correct about that, Faith, dear?
Exactly. I want accountability on both ends, not just one. I do not just sit up here and fry Black men like most Black women want me to. That's the reason why a lot of Black women don't jail with me because I'm not a 24/7 male bashing channel, nor am I a jump on the black female bashing for the black male type of female either. I'm going to call it down the middle on both ends.
And I respect that of my colleague Faith, because that's how she's always been. She's even gone to bat for me. Literally, Faith does not play sides. She does not deal with very disgusting behavior as well as talking points. You better be able to understand your talking points. She's a very humble and very straightforward woman. No bullshit, no chaser. She'll laugh with you, but she'll call you out. She's even called me out. I can appreciate that. Y'all want a good woman? Y'all want to hear some good content? Go check out the Faith Factor. And as always, the show that has helped me do this, helped me put this together, I would not have gotten a lot of this content if not for the one, the only, the CK, the Commendable K, the Reaction Satisfaction channel. You guys need to definitely come over there, subscribe to his channel. He goes through a lot of content, a lot of information, as well as putting y'all onto some very, very accountable knowledge that you guys should very much want to hear as well as gather. You can also join his channel as well as subscribe. Please, you have a whole TV guide of channels I'm giving y'all. BMT is literally giving you a whole TV guide of channels. Y'all can't go wrong with this. You can't. I'm telling y'all really want to get onto all of this. So we're about to wrap it up. You guys, anything y'all would like to say, Commendable K, you can take it on home. I am done talking.
I think I've said enough. I'll, yield to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Faith, anything you want to say there?
I'm sorry, my mic was off. Sorry about that. No, I mean, just to wrap up, because I didn't really get a chance to watch all of the videos, and I didn't see any of these videos before I reacted to it. The ones that I did see, I thought they were disgusting. Let me just go on record saying that. But just because I think something is disgusting and it's not my cup of tea, I look at a few things before I react. Does this have anything to do with me and what I got going on? Is this overall something that's going to be dangerous for the community or the community at large? And also, I look at on a Richter scale of 1 to 10, how severe is this? Is this people, just enjoying themselves? Or are these people that are just sitting up here and trying to spin a narrative? I think they are trying to spin a narrative. And like Classic Ruby said, with TikTok, the algorithm, I think all of these platforms pretty much try to brainwash people. But the reason why I brought it back to the older generation is because that when I was growing up, I saw the older generation kind of resting on their laurels. When I was going to school and learning history, I was pretty much left to whatever the teacher taught me in the classroom. My elders was not giving me anything additional and sharing with me anything additional that they could give me as far as my history. So whatever I learned in the classroom, that's what I had to grow up with. I really didn't start learning more about my history until I got in college and until I started doing my own research by myself. But how many of us are going to do that? That's the reason why I said the elders do have a responsibility. My grandparents were around just towards the end of Jim Crow and slavery. And they could have shared a lot of their enriched experiences with that, but they didn't. And then they died off. My mother, there are certain things that she experienced as far as segregation and being bused to school that she's not sharing with my children, and so on and so forth. See, because the elders do not share information, this is the reason why we have Generation Z running out here thinking it's cool to do the Massa challenge, because they don't really know their history. They're so far removed from it that they're no longer affected by it. It's not anywhere in their psyche, because nobody, their parents, just like my parents, allow the public school system to educate them about their history. And so we can't sit up here now after doing nothing and complain that this is what they're doing. And that's all I have to say.
Bravo, 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 bravo. Let me read the super chats. I have to read the super chats. Shout out to Doug. Yes, and I will bring it up to Faith as well as CK. We can definitely talk about that. And if not, if they can't do it, I will do it. I can't overlook that. The fatherhood bill. He asked CK, BMT, and Faith. I would like to hear a show on the Florida fatherhood bill. That's going to be up to the other two heads and how they feel about that. I think that would be something that would be very interesting to talk about. It'd be up to them if they also want to critique on that. We also have another donation. I want you all guys to know donations do not go to me. I do not. I want you to understand these donations go specifically. They go to an after school program. They go to the halfway house. If y'all got to believe me, watch the channel. Literally, the guy who actually runs the halfway house, he actually started taking some of that money to help some of these brothers to be able to, he buses them over to go see their kids. So I've already showed y'all, I believe me, if I'm not sure y'all watch my channel, but I go to the halfway house. I'm actually starting to get in touch with a woman's center. Also, you guys, please stop asking me to record inside of those places. You can ask Ruby or anybody who actually has some common sense. Those are sensitive areas. You don't record people down on their luck. You just don't. I don't know what's wrong with y'all on social media, but y'all be wanting me to record people who are literally in a bad state. Like, no, dude, everything's not meant for the camera. Like, I'm not doing that. Besides, some of them are under protection or under certain guidelines. They don't want the camera in their face. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel comfortable. I promised them I wouldn't do that. They know who I am. They do watch our content. But yeah, I'm not going to record people who are down on their luck because it's already hard enough. I don't think they want a camera in their face and they can barely afford ramen noodles. If that makes any sense to anybody. So yes, that's pretty much. I know I gotta go give them that. Kay or Ruby, who wants to take the next one?
Go ahead, Ruby.
Go ahead, Ruby.
Well, I'll just say this, and here's the thing, and I mean the internet, Google, and Facebook, right? They both started off as these innocuous things, and they have become so very much not innocuous, and that's part of the problem. Is that oftentimes we can't really project what the danger or what the harm could be or would be, especially to these younger generations whose lives are so intertwined with social media in a way that for those of us who were not born with social media or not born and raised with social media, we can't fathom the way that they see social media and the way that they've kind of rewired their brains to understand socialization. Whereas for a lot of the older generations or older people who were born and maybe raised predominantly without even the internet, right? It's like a pastime. You go do that for some fun and then you put it down. Where these kids, it's life. It's literally a massive part of life. And so the problem is whenever you see some of these TikTok trends and you think to yourself, no one would ever do that. It's harmful. It's obviously harmful. It obviously can hurt you. But if a few people didn't get hurt, everyone else is going to try to do it. That clout chasing, the FOMO, the this, the that. And it's really the collaboration of a bunch of different effects that come together and make something that could have been okay or could have not been harmful, really harmful. So then you kind of start at the beginning and forget for a second whether you care about the racial aspect of the man being white and she being black and the Massa thing. Forget exactly how young these people look in the TikToks, whatever. And let's just start with the fact that in every single one of these things, there's a violent handhold where she's being, she's being strung up, basically. She's being held up hard. And the problem with that, right, is with these kids, they start thinking it's cool, it's funny, it's normalized. And the more that things are cool and funny and normalized, the more that they engage in them. And then the problem is the more that you engage in something when you're just joking, the more normalized it is for you to engage in it when you're not just joking, and so on and so forth. And this is where you see a lot of these TikTok trends have actually ended in tragedy and have ended in really bad streaks of, antisocial, shall we say, behavior. And so, when I see something like this, I think about how sad it is, and how sad I am for the kids, not because of their interracial dating. I don't care about that. Half my family's interracial. It's not about the interracial dating. It's about associating interracial dating with the violent, dragging her up, and with the Massa, and that I think is problematic. I don't really know. We can't stop these trends. Once they start, even like TikTok or Facebook or whatever, they have a really hard time trying to stop the trends once they start, because even if, like, for example, with the eating disorder example I brought up earlier, all the eating disorder people did was change the hashtag to something that has nothing to do with an eating disorder. You would never even guess has anything to do. So they just find ways around the systems that the adults build to try to protect the kids. So what's really the solution? The solution is the parents, right? Yes, obviously. The solution is the parents, the teachers, the, community centers, the things that have, boots on the ground contact with our kids. But from there, you know what the problem is like I said earlier, we're not informed enough. We don't really know enough. We're basically just shooting in the dark and hoping we hit something. So all I could say is, if you have kids, please be aware of how harmful and how quickly these things can go from being, seems okay, to harmful in an instant, and either monitor or outrightly take away their access to some of these things until they're older. Let their brains and their idea of socialization develop without this worldwide influence and manipulation from the World Wide Web. That's all I got to say.
Well, Kay, it's all on you, young brother. You get to wrap it up, man, and send us on home.
I'll be real concise with it, because Ruby really elaborated, on exactly my perspective. For a lot of the younger generation, this is Aladdin, this is Disney, this is a whole new world that they were born into, where they are guided, they are directed, not off of just TV. They're guided and directed off of social media and what they see there. A lot of us and a lot of the older generations were brought up on, hey man, just because you see someone else jump off a bridge, does that mean you're gonna jump off a bridge? Well, nowadays it's the response of the kids will be, well, how many likes did they get? How many views did they get? Because if they got enough views and enough likes, yes, they're gonna jump off the bridge. I don't care if it's an algorithm, an echo chamber, Google, no matter what the reason is, if it brings enough attention, if it brings enough clout, it may be a mental illness fix, they're going to follow the trend, and it is going to go viral in a virus type way and sick. And it is affecting our community. It's affecting the whole world. But not to bring too much into it, that's why certain parts of the world ban these social media platforms, because they know for a fact the cancer that can grow from it. So just keep in mind that not everyone is as mature as you. Not everyone can just discern and see, can tell the trees from the forest as clearly as you all can, and understand that people with lower perspectives, they're getting caught in the trap, and they're okay with it. And for those that truly still do care, just as CK, BMT, Ruby, and man, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your name.
Faith.
Yeah, Faith has said.
Faith factor.
Faith factor. Yes, indeed.
Go go over to her channel if you ever get a chance, Kay. I promise you, they got all the links in the chat. I promise you, brother, go over to her channel and go and just go up there on the panel. You will have a good time talking on Faith. Or with Class Ruby, you will try to pick your brain. So you got to watch out. She'll try to diagnose you on the spot or some shit. If she
Hey now.
I got a pretty interesting brain, so I won't mind it getting picked at all. You understand? So
challenge accepted. Oh man.
no,
Right?
it wasn't even really like that. I just really want us to be aware of people. We're living in different mental spaces, not just based off of our age, but based off of our level of maturity. If some come in with agendas, that can be respected, but there are groups of people that are perceiving this and they are not aware of right, wrong. What's right or wrong depends on what social media says. Not to be speaking about religions and faith and all of this and that. All of that's been taken out. It's not about religion. It's not about faith. It's not about moral compasses anymore. It's about how many likes, how many views. What can I do to get some money? How can I get at my ops? How can I get somebody back? You know what I'm saying? How can I just come up with a reason not to care anymore? And the more we are passive about things that somebody else can see as a reason not to care anymore and can undermine our community if we still care about our community, the further down that hill that snowball is going to go is going to build into an avalanche. The goalposts keep getting moved every day. Someone's getting born every minute, every second of the day. So just be aware of this and keep our emotions intact as I should. That's all I got to say, BMT.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was respectful and let everybody get it out. My final thought, and first of all, I want y'all to say, let me clap it up. I was nervous. Lord have mercy, I was nervous. But CK, we did it, dog. We did it. And I know it was rough. But we had actually, it was a lot. It was a multifaceted, and y'all got to understand the black community is not monolith. We are not monolith. We do have different vices. I could understand and put myself in each seat from Faith, Trey, Mike, Mary, CK, Ruby, Kay. I can see from all y'all points of views, And the thing about it is, this is good. So I'm hoping the people that do hear it understand that there was no ad hominem of attacks. We want to have more dialogues. Like, this is what people like to hear, dialogues. I know some people think, well, because somebody speak like that, they hate black people. No, they just understand that, hey, we didn't get like this overnight. So now all of a sudden, y'all telling me, and I ain't gonna lie, that's a pet peeve of mine. You're telling people to all of a sudden, let's start doing this when literally, hey, I didn't break up the railroad tracks. I've been walking barefoot for a while now. Now my feet are calloused. Shout out to Ruby for bringing up the algorithm. Guess what? If anybody go by and pick up a Tide Pod, a Tide bottle, what does it say on it now?
They say, do not
Don't eat it.
Do not
now. Before it didn't used to have to say that, but they have to tell people that now. People want to start eating Tide Pods. We are definitely going into a different brand of an era now. And sadly, somebody actually did try to sue Tide for that. But they say, well, you're not telling people not to do that. We're going to have to be more mindful that people are coming. And they're not searching for the knowledge like Faith said. Faith knew to go search for that knowledge. I had to go search for it. A lot of us here now, the knowledge we have acquired ain't necessarily what we learned in school. We had to go out and seek that knowledge. But a lot of these people, they take what they see on YouTube as face value. That's scary. So they'll say the way how black women are because it's what somebody said on YouTube. Or the way how men are is because of what that woman said on her in her 500 in the chat video. Be very mindful, you guys. The internet is a very powerful tool. Propaganda is a very powerful tool. But I'm also understanding that guess what? Some people, they're going to be like, why? This is my life. You didn't care about me. I think that was also, what's the girl, the black girl who played Precious? Black men, y'all didn't give a damn about her until she got a white man.
Kathy
You remember that,
Sippin,
Faith? Gabby Sidibe.
Oh yeah, Gabby Sidibe. They sure didn't.
Nobody cared for her. And it was hard, and people couldn't believe that literally that white man actually loved her. He actually genuinely loved her. And they were like, how can somebody love somebody like her? See, when y'all say enough hurtful things about people and they go the opposite direction, then people want to give a shit. Does that make any sense? You get what I'm saying, Ruby? Like, you got to understand there's a cause and effect for some of the things. When y'all say black women deserve to die, you got it. And oh, don't tell BMT. Nobody says that. there are too many sound clips of that.
Right.
And just like and don't get me wrong, but now the women are starting to say, and understand, and I'm gonna say this, be honest. They say, they say it about the men. Women have other ways of how they attack men. Men can be upfront in war mode. Women do things covertly. If you want to sneak into a base, you don't send a man, you send a woman. Because she's gonna come off the least resistant. It is what it is. So she had other ways to kill you. I don't make this up. I'm just telling y'all. My mama told me, son, if you want to kill a man, kill his wallet. You want to kill a man, kill his ego. I'm like, damn, you think like that? So, mama, I can't trust you. That's a woman. She wasn't lying. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to understand, you make somebody scornful, they have other ways to get at you. Not saying that these women are scornful, you know, and I'm not saying that there aren't some divestors that are saying, hey, that's not cool. But again, if we're not the ones teaching, and I'm saying this, my niece is Filipino. When they would finish up school and I would drop her off at her Filipino side of the family, she was learning the Filipino curriculum. Does that make any sense? So once she got into their household, English died off. Now you're in our culture and you need to learn our ways of how we maneuver. You know what I'm saying? Because what they're teaching in school, mind you, most black people learn about black people through school, not actually sitting at the feet of Kay or Ruby and say, hey. Like it is what it is. I hear you. Like I'm being honest. Like a lot, we don't teach our people. We don't teach our people properly.
Nope.
I do. So when we don't teach our people, other people will teach your narrative. In the schools of Texas, slavery is not called slavery. It was called servants. So you weren't slaves, you were servants. You chose to migrate over here. Y'all, we know who said that. We came over here as immigrants. Wait a second. What? Wait. Y'all better start teaching y'all history and probably
That's in the
teaching
textbooks now.
And that's in textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the goddamn I'm now learning what is black, and it ain't me. I'm not black. I'm something else. I might be able to write down other in like a few more years, or trans black racial. If I get lucky, I might be able to get a double or triple. So, you guys, we'll see you guys later. I'm BMT. Thank everyone for coming in the chat. Thank y'all for supporting us. See you guys later. Peace. Y'all have a good day.